Shoot me. Okay. Welcome into Inter Miami CF Stadium. I am Kaylin Kyle here with John McCarthy. Thank you so much for joining us. It's rainy to say the least. Obviously, it's MLS decision day. What does this game mean to you guys, and what's the tactical plan going into it?
Yeah, we know we got to win. There's nothing else to it. The tactical game plan is to come out first 15 minutes and make the other team know that we're here to win and let them know right off the rip.
And now, obviously, there's 3 other games going on at the same time that we need to go our way. Does that play into the mental side of anything with you guys?
No, not at all, because at the end of the day, if we don't get 3 points, then those results mean nothing to us anyways.
Well, best of luck today.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So we just heard from John McCarthy there, goalkeeper for Inter Miami CF, has absolutely been a rock star since losing Luis Robles early on with that fractured arm. We have so many games going on here today. Well, not here today, in the MLS decision day. Obviously, we need 3 games to go our way. 2 of them extremely important. Obviously, Chicago taking on New York City FC. Chicago wins, that puts them at 26 points. So hopefully New York City FC will take place. Now, we have another player here joining us again. I won't keep you long. I know you guys are prepping for a game. Andres Reyes, you're back with the team. How does it feel to be back with the team?
Hola, pues muy bien. Ahora contento, pues, poder darle una mano al equipo en este día tan especial para nosotros, tanto como para el hincha, bueno, estar al 100% del equipo para poder conseguir esa victoria, que es lo que necesitamos para poder entrar a los playoffs.
Now, you've been a huge part of the squad this season in that center back role, playing alongside LGP, Leonardo Gonzalez Perez. What kind of play would you consider yourself with this team to make them successful?
Ha tenido un año importante, crucial con este equipo, jugando dentro de la alineación en la saga junto a Leandro. ¿Qué estilo de juego, qué estilo de partido deberían tener ustedes hoy para poder conseguir éxito?
Bueno, hasta ahora, como lo dijiste, he tenido un año pues bueno. Con Leandro me he venido complementando muy bien. Creo yo que el partido hoy va a ser algo físico, tanto por el clima, quizás por la necesidad que tenemos de ganar el juego. Creo yo que va a ser más que todo eso físico y bueno, estar concentrado para poder conseguir la victoria.
Perfect. And last one, it's obviously going to be a very slick pitch today, playing in that back line. What's the most important thing going into this match for especially the back 4?
Importante también hoy que con esta lluvia quizás esté un poco complicada la cancha, ¿no? Que si se puedan resbalar. ¿Qué es lo más importante para esa saga defensiva hoy en este partido?
Salir seguros. El día de hoy, pues, como tú dijiste, por la lluvia, salir con los tacos ideales para no regalar nada y bueno, estar concentrado al 100% para poder conseguir la victoria.
Perfecto, muchas gracias. Best of luck today. That's all the Spanish I know. Thank you. Now, some other big games happening here in the MLS. Again, like I said before, we need 2 of these 3 teams to drop points. Obviously, like I said, Chicago taking on New York City FC. All these games happening at the same time. Columbus taking on Atlanta. We need Columbus with a win there. Atlanta, if they do win, puts them at 25 points. DC United taking on Montreal Impact. Again, we need DC United to win that one. If Montreal wins, that puts them at 26 points. Inter Miami, if we do win this game today, that puts us at 24 points and puts us in playoff contention. So this all comes down to decision day. I mean, it's a wet and rainy, slick pitch, which is probably one of the best places to play. So hopefully the Lightning stays away. We can get this game underway because Inter Miami, this is a huge 3 points. Like I said, big task here for Diego Alonso today. Who does he go with through that back line, through the midfield unit and up top? Obviously, Higuain will be leading this line, but who will play in that number 10 role? Stay tuned to find out.
Tenemos que afrontarlos y seguir empujando porque tenemos esperanza, tenemos vida. Tenemos que hacer nuestro trabajo bien el día domingo.
We prepare very well. It's the most important game in this season, so we are focused on this game, and we'll do all we can for win this game.
Yeah, if we want to be in the playoff, we need to win today.
It's your thing. Do what you wanna do. I can tell you, but it's like to. It's your thing. Do what you wanna do. I can tell you.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
More moving horror stories.
Hey, I heard you're looking for a mover. I got a deal for you.
Staring at his mover out there.
Good Greek to the rescue.
As a former police officer, I've heard all of the moving horror stories. But you can trust me and my pros, and we'll have you saying,
Call Star Greek.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Baptist Health, as well as Major League Soccer itself, have been very, very helpful. MLS has come up with certain guidelines in terms of testing our players. We have hand washing stations, we have sanitizing stations all over the training facility as well as the stadium itself.
We, along with Baptist Health doctors, have developed effective protocol for COVID-19. It has helped us limit the spread of COVID-19 and kept the players and staff safe. The COVID-19 protocol for Inter Miami, we test every other day for players and staff. We also screen players and staff when arriving to the training facility. Because of this effective protocol in place by Baptist Health doctors, we have had no positive tests since returning from Orlando.
Baptist Health wants everyone to stay healthy. Adhering to the guidelines that are recommended, those are the things that really are important.
Tenemos que afrontarlos y seguir empujando porque tenemos esperanza, tenemos vida. Tenemos que hacer nuestro trabajo bien el día domingo.
We prepare very well. It's the most important game in this season, so we are focused on this game, and we'll do all we can for win this game.
Yeah, if we want to be in the playoff, we need to win today.
Buena Matías, buena Chama.
Tenemos que afrontarlos y seguir empujando porque tenemos esperanza, tenemos vida. Tenemos que hacer nuestro trabajo bien el día domingo.
We prepare very well. It's the most important game in this season, so we are focused on this game and we'll do all we can for win this game.
Yeah, if we want to be in the playoff, we need to win today.
How you feeling?
Very pregnant.
Yeah.
My dress is like barely staying done.
Ready just to go.
Yeah, so if all my buttons pop and hit you in the face, apologies and catch them. always try to say that so nice. Thank you. Do like cool, something cool. I trust you.
With me in it, though.
Just cut Chris out. We'll pretend like we're having a chat.
I hope so.
Amazing. Sorry, I have no idea. Can Mano hear us? Mano, can you give us, are we ready to go?
What? Oh, Ken. Cool.
Yeah. Welcome in to Inter Miami CF Stadium. I mean, if this doesn't wrap up 2020 season for these guys, I don't know what will. My hair is all over the place. I mean, the wind's at your back. But Chris Allen, welcome. I mean,
Thank you.
VP of the Community Operations. Now, you've put on so many incredible incentives throughout this club. What was the most memorable one to you? And then I want to touch on a few other ones.
Yeah, I think for me, the food drive throughout COVID-19, we opened up our stadium and had people come from all over South Florida, and we gave out about 500 bags per week for about 8 weeks. That was really impactful, and it was incredible to see the community come out and the team and the club come together and unite behind a good cause.
And I was actually part of that. Me and Andres Cordero came out, and it was absolutely incredible with what you guys do. But there's loads of initiatives you guys have done. I mean, you activated one with David Guetta. He was on top of a building DJing for all of Brickell. I mean, how did you even go about that? How did you get that done? I mean, the things that Inter Miami do, it never ceases to amaze me anymore.
No, me either. It was pretty organic, actually. You know, it was very early on in COVID, and no one really knew what was going on, and everyone just tried to get together and come up with different ways to raise awareness, raise funds, get food. So that was pretty organic. His people reached out and said, we're doing this. We said, we'd love to be involved, help promote. But it was incredible. $750,000 raised, I think, for food that day.
Amazing. And we've also done some activation with Publix and a lot of our sponsors doing tailgating parties. Obviously, there's only been a couple games where fans can come in and support the guys. So we've actually traveled to a couple lucky houses and delivered food. So how did you go about that with our sponsors for them to get on board?
Yeah, our sponsors have been incredible.
Don't blow away here.
Our sponsors really have been incredible and really rallied behind us, and we've worked very closely with them on trying to have impact with people in the community and come up with different ways to maintain social distancing and keep everyone safe and get out there. So tailgating from home and all the different initiatives they've been a part of have been really big for them and the club.
It's been hard for me because I'm delivering these packages and there's beer and there's wine and I'm here like 9 months pregnant. I swear this isn't a quarantine belly.
Okay, good.
This is a baby in here.
I have one, but I have a jacket.
You're covering it. It's very smart of you. Now, why is community so important to Inter Miami?
I think it starts from the very top. David, Jorge, Jose, Marcelo, our ownership group are all very, very community-based, people first. So to have people like that at the very top and have that ingrained through our club has really trickled down through the players, through the club, and through all of us. So community first, we're a fan-centric, fan-first club, and we'll do everything for the people, for this community.
And it is fan-first, but it's also family-based as well. So talk us through a little bit of that, because that's one thing I've really noticed. Obviously, when I first accepted the job, it was sideline reporting, and now I feel like everyone here just treats you like family. Why is that so important to the ownership, throughout the players, throughout the fans, and then someone like yourself activating within the community? Yeah,
it's been incredible. So I've been involved for 5 or 6 years outside, and then I've been with Inter Miami for 1.5 years officially. And from the very beginning, everything was very kind of family oriented. It sounds silly because we didn't have a club for so long, and then once we do, I think it's all about culture, and it's the people that we bring in, it's the players that we bring in, our supporters who we'll hear from soon. You know, our hashtag La Familia. These are La Familia right here, the guys who are going to come in and stand in the wind and the rain. Yeah, but again, I think it comes down from the top, from our ownership group, setting that standard very early and ingraining that culture into the club.
And we will have some supporters joining us after the break. We picked out a lucky few. I mean, they're all crazy. I threw it out on my social media. I wanted to bring them on the radio, and just some of their stories about how excited they are here. We have 3 different supporters groups, which is absolutely incredible. So I'm going to ask them about that because it's kind of confusing to me. me. But anything planned for the off season activation wise? Obviously, this has been such a crazy season of 2020. COVID hit. I mean, then you go into an MLS bubble. It's been very difficult to have that engagement with the fans and the community. So anything coming into the fall or maybe into January?
Yeah, we definitely want to stay close with our supporters. We want to keep them engaged. It could be a long off season, it would feel like, because of how long it's taken just to get here. So we're going to support them in all the different things they're doing, like Vice City, for example, are having a Thanksgiving drive. We're going to be out there supporting them. And so all through the off season, we're just going to be, keeping everyone engaged and close to the club.
I haven't gotten an invite to that, so I'm expecting to check my email.
Yeah,
and
check
get
your email.
Okay, I'll check my email. And then what's your personal favorite part of being part of this La Familia?
I mean, seeing everything start from the ground up, building a fan base and a culture from the ground up is just incredible. You know, I'm an Arsenal fan back home in London. And
I won't tell my husband that. He's an
don't.
Everton supporter. So.
But they're hundreds of years old. And so being able to build something that we know is going to last for generations and, having these people get behind the team like this after just having a team for a year, it's incredible to see.
I think that's one of the coolest things about this club. Obviously, I've played around the world and played in amazing stadiums, but you see supporters literally coming out in this weather. I mean, we have tropical weather warnings today.
Right.
The game so far will go through, but they're out here supporting. They're on by the fences, fireworks going off. It's absolutely incredible. But Chris, thank you so much for joining us. When we come back, we have some lucky supporters joining us on the show. Welcome back into Inter Miami CF Stadium. I am Kaylin Kyle. Now, joined alongside a lucky supporter, but I don't even want to say lucky because you've been to the first game in LA. Sorry, Pablo. This is Pablo joining me from Vice City 1896. Obviously, your jacket says it all. Now, you were one of the supporters that traveled to LA and were insane. I mean, I watched videos of that, and you have Mikey Ambrose dancing with you. I promise we're not going to blow away up here. You were dancing with Mikey Ambrose. You were dancing with the players when they got off the bus. I want to first ask you about that. How was that moment for someone like yourself traveling to LA and just supporting the team for the first game of the inaugural season?
I mean, I don't know anything else. It's just Miami, football. I'm a hometown kid. And it was amazing. It was just, we've been waiting so long. We had to go out there and show our support, let them know, let everybody else know, like LA's not just the only major, supporters, team, city, whatever. We were just going out there to represent, do our thing.
I love it. Now, we actually brought you and your family up on our last broadcast because you traveled to Dallas with your wife and how many kids?
My 2 sons.
And your 2 sons. How old are your sons?
5 and 4.
5 and 4. I can't even imagine. My son's 2, and he's absolutely insane. So you're doing well. But you traveled to Dallas. What was that like? I mean, how many fans, first off, traveled to that game? There's just a handful.
It was 15 of us.
15 of you.
Yeah.
So why did you choose to go to Dallas during this crazy time with your family to support the team?
I mean, we missed out on so many games because of the pandemic. We had to kind of play catch up and just do what we got to do. We're in the thick of a playoff hunt. So it just felt so right to go out there and let them know. We'll travel whatever to go see them.
I love it. This is why I love Inter Miami fans. Now, obviously, the season hasn't gone how we've planned. We ended up delaying the start. Then we ended up in a bubble in Orlando. Now we're back here. Fans are slowly starting to be able to come in, our supporters. But what does this team mean to you? Obviously, there's been some rocky games, to say the least. But really only 2 games where we've been blown out and didn't deserve to win. We've lost marginally. I mean, 2-1 losses, 3-2 losses. What's your most intriguing thing about these players that you've noticed this far this season?
I mean, just that they give it all. You know, they're a fairly new team.
Yeah.
Can't expect too much, but they're exceeding our expectations already. So we're just glad to be here, and we're gonna be here for them whether they win or lose.
Amazing. You need to teach me a chant as well.
Oh, for sure.
Because I mean, there's so many chants in that end, so I cannot wait for next season when this stadium is absolutely rocking. It's going to be insane. Your two boys, are they here today?
They are. Yeah.
Are they just in the? Where are they right now? In this
They are
stands?
probably
Running around in
somewhere-
the rain.
Yeah.
I love it. The best part about Miami, though, is when it is raining, at least it's still warm, so we're not freezing. So
it's a party. It's
yeah,
a wet party.
Exactly. Pablo, thank you so much
Thank you
for
for
joining
having
us.
me. I appreciate
and
it.
have so much fun.
Thank
we
you.
need the win today,
Yeah,
so
we
you
do.
need to cheer extra loud for
We
me.
will. You
And
know.
I'm going to come over there maybe at halftime just to learn a chant with
Sweet.
you guys.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you for
so
having
much.
us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, we have more supporters joining us next, so do not go anywhere. Thank you so much. Welcome back into Inter Miami CF Stadium. I'm Kaylin Kyle, joined alongside JC, part of the Southern Legion supporters group. I mean, the players are on the pitch during this crazy, rain coming down. Now, I would love to be playing right now. These are one of those games that, put me in, coach. Let's
Right.
get our cleats on, get stuck in.
I agree 100%. I know you used to play back, for the Canada. Canada, so yes.
I'm retired
You'll be
now.
ready.
No,
You'll be ready.
no one wants to see me out on the pitch anymore. That is why I retired early. But you're part of the Southern Legion. Now, what does it mean to be a supporter of this newly founded team?
Oh, it means everything. I mean, we've been waiting for almost 20 years to have a professional soccer team back in Miami.
Yeah.
And for most of us, we're diehard fans. So
You're sitting in a t-shirt and shorts at the moment,
Yes.
and it's literally tropical storms right now. I love. This is why
It is.
supporters make teams. Okay,
Exactly.
keep going.
But yes, it means everything for us. To have a professional soccer team back in Miami after 20 years. It's been a crazy year too, right?
To say the least.
Right?
This is just the cherry on the top. This is 2020 being like,
Exactly.
you guys are welcome.
Exactly. And we're happy to be here. We're happy to be part of this, and we can't wait for this game. Hopefully, we get the W. And
We will get the W.
Right
Not
now,
hopefully, we
we
will
will.
get the W.
And we're be in the playoffs, and then looking forward for next year too.
Exactly. So we have a couple of games that need to go our way, but we've literally been through it all as a team, as a community. But what's one thing that stands out to you with this Inter Miami organization that really makes you guys part and feel part of La Familia?
Oh, I think the team and the ownership. They're been to our events in the past
Yeah.
couple months. Not because of COVID, but prior COVID, we had Jorge Mas and even.
How amazing is he, by the way?
Amazing.
He's out here cheering week
I know.
in and week out. I love the guy. He's such a supporter of this team and of this community.
Indeed. He's a Miami native, right? So he brings everything to us, and to be part. And you don't see that in the, the other Miami team, right? With Miami Heat Dolphins, you don't see that ownership, fans, click.
No, it's like the fans are there, ownership's over here.
Exactly.
We're going to sit in our booths.
Exactly.
But Jorge Mas is literally in the stands
Yes.
when it's coming down rain from the sideways, cheering, got his jersey on, has his whole family there. It's incredible to see. You see David Beckham obviously can't travel because of COVID, but tweeting out supporters, tweeting out players, posting stuff on his social media. It is incredible to see.
They got our back, and we got theirs, pretty much.
I love it. Now, obviously, the team has been through a lot this season, but I want to put you in the hot seat because
I'm ready.
this is what I love to do. Favorite player on the team?
Oh man, you go.
Wait, okay, we'll start with the front line. Front three. Who's your favorite in the front three?
Front three, you gotta go with Pipita,
Lewis Morgan? Come on. I'm going Lewis
that's-
Morgan.
no.
You're going, okay, wait, I
front
like
line,
it.
but because Lewis Morgan plays sometimes in the midfield, so I was
Yeah,
gonna
okay,
say,
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
and her play overall for me is Lewis Morgan.
Okay,
That's
okay.
Everything he's done for the team, right?
How good has he been?
From Celtic to Miami, first year in MLS, and how many goals, how many assists?
I know.
And just the way he
And he's
plays the game.
selfless. gets on both sides of the ball defensively
he
and
can
in the
score,
attack.
he can kick with the right, left. I mean, very complete player, and we're happy to have him here.
I know, I'm delighted. Okay, midfield now. You can't say Lewis Morgan because I threw him up top. I picked him as my top 3 up top.
Come on, you can go with Matuidi. Come on, Matuidi is just another beast, you know. Every game, all
He's
the
been
hustle.
So good.
And he's always running, you know, and he's running every minute of the game. So, yeah.
Okay, backline.
Backline, I got to go with my homeboy, AJ De La Garza.
Love him. Actually, it was really cool. So this past week, I did an interview with John McCarthy, goalkeeper for Inter Miami, and he said that every guy on the team, you know what it's like. So when you play 4v4s, you want guys that are on both ends of the ball, they're working extremely hard. So I put him on the hot seat as well, and I said, who would you want in your 4-a-side team? First person that anyone picks for the 4-a-side, De La Garza.
Really? See, the players see, you know, he works so hard, and he's very, you know, ethic, and he's a nice guy, very humble guy, and he has the experience too. He's won 2 cups with LA, and he's played for the past 13 years. You know, I'm happy to see him. By the way, I saw the lineup right now, and he's
I was like, did my notes show you? He is in the lineup. Yes. I was like, the lineup are out, so you aren't throwing me under the bus right now. So AJ De La Garza is in this lineup along with Mikey Ambrose, so that will be one to see. Obviously, playing alongside LGP in the back end, Reyes, Matuidi trapped through the midfield.
We'll get him all. We'll get him all today. So
I can't wait. We need the 3
we're
points.
We are getting the 3
We're getting the 3 points.
Yes.
They're going to be cheering loud. I'm going to let you go because you need to get down there. The guys are warming up, and they're going to need some support, especially during this game with the
It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can tell you, but it's like to. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can tell you.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
More moving horror stories.
Hey, I heard you're looking for a mover. I got a deal for you.
Staring at his mover out there.
Good Greek to the rescue.
As a former police officer, I've heard all of the moving horror stories. But you can trust me and my pros, and we'll have you saying,
Call Star Greek.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Baptist Health, as well as Major League Soccer itself, have been very, very helpful. MLS has come up with certain guidelines in terms of testing our players. We have hand washing stations, we have sanitizing stations all over the training facility as well as the stadium itself.
We, along with Baptist Health doctors, have developed effective protocol for COVID-19. It has helped us limit the spread of COVID-19 and kept the players and staff safe. The COVID-19 protocol for Inter Miami, we test every other day for players and staff. We also screen players and staff when arriving to the training facility. Because of this effective protocol in place by Baptist Health doctors, we have had no positive tests since returning from Orlando.
Baptist Health wants everyone to stay healthy. Adhering to the guidelines that are recommended, those are the things that really are important.
Welcome back into the Inter Miami pregame show. Obviously, Inter Miami taking on FC Cincinnati tonight. A must-win for Inter Miami. Now, I feel like I'm reporting the weather up here because literally we're like blowing away. We're like those crazy people that are on the beaches, you know, that are like filming for hurricanes. We're not. We're safe, though, all right? We have Jake Kington. No S, right?
No S.
No S. You actually host Inter Miami podcast. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I, as well as my co-host, Alex Papa George, we do host the Inter Miami podcast.
Come say hi, Alex. Pop in the
here,
camera. This
we'll
is
probably
Alex.
be here in a bit.
He's going to join us right after because I'm going to break it down with him as well.
We started this about 15 months ago.
Okay.
There was no source, centralized source to find news on the team. So we, kind of talked and figured this would be a good idea. grown now to have listeners in over 30 countries, starting to do some work with the team as well. So it's amazing. We're just grateful for the support and the love the community has given us, and now we're here just to help out in any way we can.
Amazing. So you're actually not from Miami. Where are you originally from?
I am from Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. Alex is probably giggling because he always jokes I tell people that, but it wasn't me this time. But I've been down here since 2008.
Okay, amazing. And what brought you to Miami?
Well, honestly, one of the cities I wanted to move to.
We needed to get tan skin. I'm Canadian, so I feel you.
Yeah.
Living in cold places for too long is not good for our health.
It's not. I'm pretty Irish, so I don't fare too well in the sun for over about an hour at a time. But just one of the cities I wanted to move to. It's gorgeous. This is a beautiful South Florida day. In hurricane season. But besides that, it's a lovely atmosphere. I enjoy the people down here, the diversity. I'm a big foodie, so getting exposure to all these foods.
I'm a big foodie as well.
Makes it a great place.
So what really drew you to want to start a podcast for Inter Miami, a newly founded team?
Yeah, so I unfortunately have never been able to live in a city that had a soccer team. So when the news broke and I was down here, I got really excited and wanted to start following it and then trying to get other people into it because I've been in love with soccer since about 2006. Big Chelsea fan. I did not.
Chelsea
I played,
fan.
but
So you're happy about the midweek win then, aren't you?
I am. I'm very happy with the new additions we've made
Yes.
this year. It's finally starting to come together.
My husband's an Everton supporter, so he's been absolutely devastated because they're in poor form as of late. We will say that.
It's been a rocky start for a lot of teams, but I'm sure they'll get it around.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I like putting people on the hot seat, but what is your most favorite thing about the organization so far?
What they do for the fans in the community has been amazing.
Yeah,
for
second to none.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. We were here for the season ticket holders event like 2 weeks before the game against LA Galaxy, which had to get postponed. But just seeing that, the community, we've gone out with all the supporters groups. We talk to them every single week. The way they treat everyone, and even my own experiences with the ticket and sales and all that, has just been pleasurable. So. I'm here for football, but the organization has been great outside in every area.
Yeah, and the supporters are absolutely incredible. I sat down with a lot of them, and then I've been working with a lot of them throughout the season. I mean, doing food drives and going to their houses, and they're just so grateful. So, hot seat, you ready?
Let's go.
Are you ready for it?
I think so.
Favorite player on the team?
It's easy. Lewis Morgan, the postman.
Yes.
I've got under here. You won't be able to see it, but I've got a Lewis Morgan jersey on.
Favorite person in the broadcast? Ray, Dre, or K? Be very careful now.
K.
But it's Ray, isn't it?
It is Ray.
Oh,
of course it's Ray.
I knew
Of course
it.
it's Ray. I've
Sorry,
been
Dre.
listening to Ray for so long, just to be able to have him be part of the team is unreal.
You're obviously in radio, so I'm obviously biased because I work with them. I'm extremely lucky. I've met Ray and Dre probably a year and a half ago, Ray a little bit longer. But to have those two guys be your main broadcast here, I'm lucky to even be in the same room as them. But when that got announced, what was your initial thoughts of Ray and Dre?
If you want the best color commentator in the entire sport, look no further
into the camera and tell them
than
that.
Ray Hudson. I love you, Ray. So when the news broke that he was going to be, brought in to do the game coverage, I mean, you can't ask for much more. The metaphors he can, with ease, just throw out there.
I die laughing all the time. I don't know if people can hear me, on the broadcast. I'm sitting pitch side, dying laughing, and I'm like, oh my goodness! I forget I'm hot. My mic's hot.
They are just rich with taste, and that'll bring a smile to anyone's face.
I love it. Well, I'm gonna let you go enjoy the warm-ups. Get out in this amazing weather that we have
Hair's
here.
all over the place.
So is mine.
Good luck for
Thank you. Yes.
the rest of the day.
I shouldn't even have done my hair today, if I'm being completely honest. Jay,
I should have worn a hat.
Yeah, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us. Such a pleasure. And I'm expecting an invite on this podcast. I haven't got one yet. It's probably lost in the mail.
It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can tell you, but it's like to. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can tell you.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
More moving horror stories.
Hey, I heard you're looking for a mover. I got a deal for you.
Staring at his mover out there.
Good Greek to the rescue.
As a former police officer, I've heard all of the moving horror stories. But you can trust me and my pros, and we'll have you saying,
Call Star Greek.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Baptist Health, as well as Major League Soccer itself, have been very, very helpful. The MLS has come up with certain guidelines in terms of testing our players. We have hand washing stations, we have sanitizing stations all over the training facility as well as the stadium itself.
We, along with Baptist Health doctors, have developed effective protocol for COVID-19. It has helped us limit the spread of COVID-19 and kept the players and staff safe. The COVID-19 protocol for Inter Miami, we test every other day for players and staff. We also screen players and staff when arriving to the training facility. Because of this effective protocol in place by Baptist Health doctors, we have had no positive tests since returning from Orlando.
Baptist Health wants everyone to stay.
Welcome back into Inter Miami CF pregame show with myself, Kaylin Kyle. Now, I'm actually not making up this name for my next guest. You probably have the best name ever, Alex Papa George.
You are too kind. And yes, you don't meet too many of us around, but I am the one and potentially the only.
I mean, Alex, I'm sorry. I know, like, he's taking the cake. You're the better half of this podcast, aren't you?
I'm glad you recognize it just like most people. But, with your blessing, I don't think that there's a question. As we take flight here from the stadium, it's getting crazy.
Do you feel like you're at like a Victoria's Secret swimsuit shoot where like the fans are on you and it's just like act organic?
I've never been a model before, but I guess this is a sensation that people
This
get.
is what it feels like. I've never either, but I feel like this is what it would feel like.
Model shoot or skydiving. We don't really know which one we're getting into
I feel like skydiving might be the thing. Obviously, you guys do this podcast together. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from San Diego. So I am from the other side of the coast. I came down here for the University of Miami, started my first company and sold it, and now we're still here.
Okay, so what's your first company?
We
Come
did
on.
all-
Don't be.
I know.
I hate when people do that. I started my first company. Well, tell us about it.
We did all social media, so digital marketing, PPC, SEO, web development, you name it. We started in a small one-bedroom apartment in Cayocho Street, and someone eventually approached us with a big bag of money, and we took it.
Incredible. Now, I want to ask you, what is your most favorite part about being part of this Inter Miami family?
Oh, just the love from the community, I would absolutely have to say. I mean, everybody in the organization and the players are fantastic, but you don't have to go far to feel the love of this team around the South Florida community, really from the Palm Beach area down to, Homestead, Miami-Dade. So I would absolutely say it's the passion of everybody behind this team.
Okay, now, obviously, we broke it all down about your podcast, so I want to ask you some questions about Miami. Obviously, you're from San Diego.
Yes.
San Diego's beautiful, but Miami, the culture here is incredible. The food's incredible. So what is your favorite part about Miami? And where would be your go-to spot? Like if someone gave you a Friday night dinner spot, where would that be? If COVID wasn't hitting.
Friday night dinner spot, I would have to go down to Joe's Stone Crab.
Oh, I heard it's good there.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You haven't tried it, you have to go out there and try it.
I haven't been out because I'm pregnant and I'm just like a bit nervous with COVID, but
maybe when everything blows over and you have the time to celebrate.
Literally when we blow over here. But I'm not really that funny. So
That was on cue.
Yeah.
But no, other than that, San Diego's a beautiful area, but there's no place like South Florida. There's a reason we live down here, and there's a reason why hundreds of thousands of people are moving down here every single year, and it's because the beautiful weather, the melting pot, and the culture that you see every single day.
No, it's very true. Now, obviously, you cover everything Inter Miami on your podcast. So when you're prepping, this is what I always like asking, because I've just started doing radio, and it's extremely different than doing broadcast. So what was one thing for you that you felt most difficult going into the radio side of things?
Now, the radio side of things.
Or podcast, sorry.
Yeah, the podcasting.
Both.
We have to have you on the podcast too, first and foremost.
I'm sorry. I'm very disappointed. I have not even been addressed to come to this. Not even an email or like, I'm disappointed, but we'll save that for another day.
And I'm actually going to put the blame on Jay for that
Jay,
one.
thanks.
You know,
Cheers, Jay.
Yeah, we were talking about it, but no, we absolutely have to have you on the podcast. But biggest difference from going on radio to TV has probably been what's going on when you're not on mic. You know, that's kind of funny, right? You're looking at yourself, but as you know, the person that you're talking to is talking, you're not sure what the heck you're doing with your face. So I would say that, but no, check out the podcast, Inter Miami Podcast. We're on every single platform out there. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, you name it. So we have a good time. It's a very conversational platform, and I'm sure Jay dived into this, but you know, we really started the podcast to educate folks who weren't diehard soccer and football fans.
And that's so important, especially in the MLS. Sorry to cut you off, because a lot of people want to just support a club. Like you see it in America. It's not like European where they've been born into it. So I love that I've actually listened to it.
Hey.
So I love that your podcast is very conversational in the fact that you break it down where people might come to a game just to have a beer and popcorn, but now they understand it because you break it down in simpler terms.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you have listened to our podcast.
I've listened to it, just never been on it.
We have to change that. But number two is that you're absolutely right. You know, we understand that the diehard, you know, football community in South Florida has been starving for a team for a very, very long time. Those people are going to show up. They're going to be here. They're going to be here every single match, every single day, and support the club. Now, there's a whole nother side of this area, which is the MLS and the MLS's footprint growing in America. Yeah. And, you know, that's kind of the world that Jay and I likes to play in, you know, to invite new fans who may not be familiar with the game in the club down here in South Florida and really invite them into the community of Inter Miami.
Well, Alex, I really appreciate you coming on this show. I'm glad we got to share this moment. Obviously, players are warming up. Kickoff is about to happen any moment. I don't even know what time it is. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what month it is. COVID just really wrecked that for me. But you know what hasn't wrecked it? Their chance to get into...
It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can tell you, but it's like to. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can tell you.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
More moving horror stories.
Hey, I heard you're looking for a mover. I got a deal for you.
Staring at his mover out there.
Good Greek to the rescue.
As a former police officer, I've heard all of the moving horror stories. But you can trust me and my pros, and we'll have you saying,
Call Star Greek.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Baptist Health, as well as Major League Soccer itself, have been very, very helpful. The MLS has come up with certain guidelines in terms of testing our players. We have hand washing stations, we have sanitizing stations all over the training facility as well as the stadium itself.
We, along with Baptist Health doctors, have developed effective protocol for COVID-19. It has helped us limit the spread of COVID-19 and kept the players and staff safe. The COVID-19 protocol for Inter Miami, we test every other day for players and staff. We also screen players and staff when arriving to the training facility. Because of this effective protocol in place by Baptist Health doctors, we have had no positive tests since returning from Orlando.
Baptist Health wants everyone to stay healthy. Adhering to the guidelines that are recommended, those are the things that really are important.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show. We are here in beautiful, yet wet Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Jay, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing well, actually, all things considered. I think this is going to be a pretty fun day, fun game. Going to get a little sloppy out there for sure.
Yeah, why not? Why not cap this season with weather conditions like this? If it was anything easier, I don't think it would be called Inter Miami.
No, not. This is symbolic for the entire season and adversity this team has had to work through. So why not add one more obstacle in between, the end of our season and reaching the playoffs? And this is the perfect environment to do it in.
This is, sir. This is. And with that, I myself am Alex Papa George, joined like always by Mr. Jay Kington. We are the co-hosts of the Inter Miami podcast. Do check us out on social media, Inter Miami podcast on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter, Inter MIA podcast. And we are available on all podcast functionalities. That is Spotify, that is Apple Podcasts, that's Stitcher, that's Anchor, really however you want to find us. But enough of that good stuff, Jay. We have our playoff hopes sitting right before us today.
We do. This is, we've said must wins we've had in the past. This is an absolute must win. If we do not win this game, we are knocked out of the playoffs. If we win this game, there still has to be some magic from other teams in the league that needs to happen for us to go ahead and get that last playoff spot. But it's possible. We do play FC Cincinnati, who is at the bottom of the table in the East. Revered is honestly one of the worst teams in the league. So if there's a game to do it, this would be the one. We have a favorable matchup considering what our opponents are up against.
Yeah. Hey, we need a little bit of luck, but we've had a little bit of luck in the past, so no reason that it can't tip you on into this game. So, we do have to go out, as Jay mentioned, and take care of business. We cannot tie. We cannot lose. We have to go out and get those 3 points. And if that does happen, Jay, why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit more about what all needs to happen inside of the MLS to have us go and get an invite into the postseason?
So assuming we walk away with 3 points today, right? We're going to need 2 out of the following 3 to occur, okay? The first one is going to be Montreal either loses or draws against DC United on Saturday. Same time, all these games will be
So Montreal has to lose and draw, or draw, I'm sorry.
Lose or draw, right? They could, I think, technically win and get that last spot, and we could still, or the 9th spot, we could still get in on the 10th spot. But the second item is Chicago needs to either lose or draw against NYCFC. Again, they are a team that has really turned their season around, struggled at the beginning. I really think that they'll be able to at least draw out the game, if not get a win against Chicago, who has been struggling in numerous areas throughout the season.
Well, all we can do is take care of our own business. Let's go ahead and let the dominoes fall the way that they fall around the league. All these games on decision day are taking place at the same exact time.
This is a fun time. But wait, there's one more.
Uh-oh.
Atlanta needs to either lose or draw against Columbus, but Columbus could put any combination of their players out on the pitch, and I'm pretty sure they'd be able to take down Atlanta. So again, we have the most favorable matchup, but we still need to secure 3 points.
Yes.
Good luck crossing the ball in this weather. Good luck with long balls. It's going to be all over the place. I think a lot of slipping is going to happen.
It's wet.
It's wet.
It's playoff football.
Hurricane season in Florida. What more do you want to play a professional sport?
I mean, there's really nothing else that the gods above us and the in the MLS world can kind of throw at us right now. So
you've seen it all.
We do need a little bit of luck, but as Jay said, we do need to take care of business. And for us to take care of business, Jay, what are some of those points of emphasis that we need to go out and do today?
We need to, our back line is back with LGP, and Andres Reyes, who was questionable, will be playing. So we are getting 2 of our starters back. That's going to leave us, though. Ben Sweat's not playing. He's not on the reserves either. So that's going to have Mikey Ambrose out, as well as AJ De La Garza. So we need to, keep the defensive integrity intact. It's going to be sketchy. There's going to be some wild balls. That ball is going to act different if it hits a pool of water on the pitch. There's going to be slipping. Do not get flustered. Get up. Just try and overcome and hold it together. Outside of that, we're really both, I think, need to see something big from Higuain. I want to see us get the ball to Higuain's feet in the box, not do our typical, run to the wing and cross it in, but find a way to get the ball inside to Higuain. That's where he's at his best. He was playing the creator role last game, and we need him up there just poaching goals for us. What else do you think you would like to see from the team?
Oh, well, today I think it starts with our stars. Stars have to play. Stars play in big games. I'm looking at Blaze. I'm looking at Pizarro, and I'm obviously looking at Gonzalo. Gonzalo is someone who was brought into the MLS on record numbers and salary. he, you know, I'm going to put it lightly, hasn't performed up to what people were expecting from this signing as of today. But
He would thank you for putting it lightly.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Got to stay positive. But no, I'm expecting a big game from all three of those gentlemen. This is where big-time players play. And, you know, outside of your other points, Jay, because I think they're absolutely spot on, is really talking about the body language of the team. You know, if things do, because they will go wrong, especially in conditions like we're playing here today, things are going to happen. Things are going to go wrong. And it's how do we, you know, how do we react to those things going on the field? You know, if a call doesn't go your way, exactly, right? We want to put our hands down and we want to focus on the game, you know? We don't want any of those criticism from the fans giving out new nicknames for the club. But if we're able to stay in this game, you know, as we talked about, Cincinnati is the lowest of the totem pole in the conference right now. So they are out of the playoffs. They're the only team out of the playoffs. So this is an absolute must win, and I hope our body language really reflects that, Jay.
I hope so as well. I think we really need to see a turn in a complete 90 minutes. If we lose this game, to put it bluntly, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. This is where you prove your worth. Leave it all out there on the pitch. I would also like to see Alonso making some substitutions, you know, before we get into the 80th minute and beyond. You know, change them out, keep them fresh. Identify where you want to make some technical changes, and then, you know, just go ahead, sweeping changes, make it. Surprised though, Breck Shea not on the reserves, not starting. He's one you put in, and typically good things will happen. But again, you know, I don't want to just see the same squad go out for 90 minutes. I want to see some earlier changes.
We should see some changes here. Obviously, like you said, Breck Shea is still out. We will have LGP and Andreas Reyes back in the lineup, still without Nico Fagal with that injury. But, you know, we expect to see some substitutions, whether that's Federico potentially coming off the bench and playing a big role. You know, Carranza might see himself inside the field here today. And Pella Messi, as we did dub on the Inter Miami podcast, Pella Messi is not in the starting lineup, but we could see some fireworks from him late.
He'd be strong coming off the bench in, you know, the 60th or 70th minute. Again, want to see it earlier, though. Do want to have a little bit of fun. So we wanted to come up with a new little segment for everyone. We're going to call it simply over or under. Alex is a gambling man, so children, do not pay attention. Do not gamble with your money. Be responsible. But we're going to say some lines or some stats, and I want you to tell me what your expectations are. Is it over? Is it under? As we are getting gusted with rain and wind, we're going to start off Inter Miami's possession. 55%. Over or under?
Oh, I'm going over big time. I'm going over big time on that. We've been doing a lot better with possession of ball over the last, I'd say, half of the season. I know last week against Toronto was a little bit of a step back, but hey, against most teams against Toronto, it's a little bit of a step back. But that's what I would say. I would probably say over. And actually, Jay, I got one off the tip here, bud.
Go ahead.
Over under winds will hit above 35 miles per hour.
Easily over.
Really?
Easily over, I think. Well, I mean, what are we at right now? Because, you know, it feels quite forceful in a gentle way, though. Number of yellow cards for the whole team. Over or under? 2.5.
Oh, I thought you were going to say LGP, and I was going to go over.
We got to take it easy on LGP. It's been a rough couple of weeks for him.
No, I'm definitely going over.
Okay.
This team has a habit of picking up yellow cards like they were going to 7-Eleven and getting Skittles. It is inevitable for the yellow cards to come. But again, I guess that kind of comes back to our main points of emphasis in today's match, which is don't lose your head. If we don't do that, keep calm, I think we're taking home a dub.
Okay. Number of shots. Not on goal, just shots in general.
Okay.
Over or under 12.
That's a great number, Jay. We're talking to Vegas.
I made these lines myself. Vegas, reach out to me.
I was going easily over that. Weather conditions are going to play a factor, but I think we're here to win. We're not here to play. We're not here to tie. We're not here to, you know, obviously lose. We're never here to lose, but this is a game that we need to go out and win, and the only way that we go out and win is if we shoot the ball. So I'm going to go ahead and go over on that, Jay.
Exactly. Okay. And that's a very good answer. The previous, 6 games, I think we've all been at 10 or more, so very safe. First goal of the game by either Inter Miami or, you know, God forbid, FC Cincinnati, 35 minutes.
35 minutes. I'm going to go under. I think that this first goal in this game is going to be scored by Inter Miami within the first 24 minutes. Now, you heard it here. Typically,
Lock it in.
I am locking in, but typically we can talk about this on the pod and nobody's keeping track. Now it's officially locked in.
We're going to have to get some graphics with your record up here.
We don't want to do that.
Number of assists from the postman himself, Mr. Lewis Morgan, who we just interviewed. Amazing interview. Over or under 0.5?
Definitely going over. I feel like I'm going over on every single one of these questions, but for good reason. If we get away with Lewis Morgan go ahead and firing off one of his classic assists to the box, I think we're going to go ahead and capitalize on that. So I'm going to go ahead and over. We had him on the podcast on Inter Miami podcast earlier in the week. Go ahead and check that out, but I'm going to go ahead and say over, Jay.
All right, one more quickly as we're about to kick off.
Yes, sir.
First Inter Miami yellow card, over or under the 40th minute?
Oh, definitely under.
All right.
That was easy.
All right. Well, stay tuned, everyone. The game is about to kick off. Inter Miami versus FC Cincinnati.
Seguir empujando porque tenemos esperanza, tenemos vida.
Bueno.
Estamos pasando este trabajo bien el domingo.
Good. Better when we have part material. Not too much on the fly with that.
I've eaten bone marrow
in this game.
Now
We'll do all we can for winning this game.
Kind of ruins it for me. I was gonna say it sounds weird. It feels very carnival.
I know. I'm a wolf myself. So you can text us at 844-416-8123. 844-416-8123. I'll have a text you back. No, they don't mean that the wolves actually eat them, just that they enjoy them. Like any dog. Like dogs love to chew on bones. I remember I had a German Shepherd growing up, and like we would bring home a soup bone, and she would love it. Like she would just run around with that thing. She would chew on it. It was like the greatest day of her life when we brought home the soup bone. We continue till 5 o'clock here on Onside Radio. And around 3 we're going to talk some more college football with Chris Benini. I don't know if I'm going to break down the specifics of the football with them. But is this Trevor Lawrence situation really strange to you? I'm going to try and make sense of this when we come back. This is your home for Inter Miami CF fans all over the world. Onside Radio.
In this game, and we'll do all we can for winning this game.
Remember, at 3 o'clock, we're going to talk some college football with Chris Benini, college football reporter for The Athletic. It's a big game this week. Selfishly, of course, I consider number 11 Miami at NC State to be a really big game tonight. Tito, is that a big game? Like, beyond Miami fans and maybe hardcore ACC fans, do you consider Miami at NC State to be a big game? I mean, Miami's practically a top 10 team. Is that a big game when they play a conference game? I think it is.
As a Miami fan, yes. As anyone else in this country, absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hate saying that, but it's true. If this is any other under 11 team that expects
Miami has been in prime time. Now, I guess half of these have been ACC network games, which are not that big. Tonight, it's an ESPN game, right? It's not an ESPN game, so I'm not going to have to hear people bitching and moaning, I don't get the ACC network, I can't watch it. ESPN game tonight, so everyone's going to be able to watch it. Miami has got to be, they've been on prime time this year more than any other team in the country, maybe outside of like Clemson and Alabama. They've been on prime time so many times this year. And, prime time Friday night against NC State tonight. You have a couple of gigantic games this weekend. I think the biggest of those is number 1 Clemson on the road at Notre Dame. I can't be the only one who thinks the optics are a little strange that just 8 days ago, Trevor Lawrence tested positive for COVID-19. And, okay, he missed the Boston College game 48 hours later. Of course, he's not playing tomorrow because he's not completely cleared through the protocols. Now, it's strange because he's cleared the COVID protocols, but he's not cleared the myocarditis protocols yet, the heart condition thing. I have heard some people, including Paul Feinbaum, a little bit puzzled by that it shouldn't take days to get through that's a pretty quick routine test to make sure he's not showing signs of myocarditis. So, I mean, am I the only one who thinks it's strange that, I think he tested positive officially 9 days ago. It wasn't announced until 8 days ago. Yet he's already cleared not to play, but to travel and be an honorary coach for Clemson tomorrow night on the road at Notre Dame. I don't think the optics of that are very good. Maybe I'm making too much out of this, but just wouldn't it make more sense when you're trying to set a certain example of how seriously you take COVID and the protocols that less than a week and a half after testing positive for a road trip for a game he can't play that you just let him stay home? Like, it just seems weird to me that he's not allowed to play in the game. Now maybe I'm making too much of this because he has cleared the COVID testing, he just hasn't cleared through the cardiac testing. But it does seem a little strange to me that he's able to travel and be on the sideline and be an honorary assistant coach. I just think it's strange. Uiagalelei is going to get his second start, when they take on Notre Dame tomorrow night at 7:30.
Baptist South as well as Major League
Antoine
Soccer
Staley
itself
picked Notre Dame to win the game.
very, very
I'm picking
helpful.
Clemson to win the game.
MLS has come
Where are
up
you
with
at on this
certain
one, Tito? Because Uiagalelei played
testing our
fine,
players.
and I think he's only going to keep
We
getting
have
better the more he
hand-washing
plays.
stations. We have
And Clemson had a really slow
stations all
start
over
against
the
Boston
training
College, but
facility as well
I thought
as
they were
the,
sleepwalking
stadium
early
itself.
on in that game, and then you saw in the second half just how dominant and how good they are. They are not going to have a slow start, and they are not going to have any issues taking Notre Dame seriously. I just think the overall talent on the field, not that Notre Dame doesn't have a lot of talent, but I still think Clemson is the better team, and I think Clemson's going to win by close to double digits tomorrow night.
I agree. I think Clemson wins by a hefty, comfortable margin. I won't say hefty, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, Notre Dame's numbers in these big games, Brian Kelly just doesn't have his team ever ready to play. Now, in terms of DJ Uiagalelei, like, you could see the flashes, and once he settled into that Boston College game, he started showing how impressive of a quarterback he is. And he actually is a tougher runner than Trevor Lawrence. He's bigger. So I think Clemson can keep it simple, ball on the ground, with everything you need from DJ Uiagalelei. And then defensively, I don't think Notre Dame has the athletes on the offensive side of the ball to cover Clemson. If I had to say it, I'd say Clemson.
And still, Tito, sometime in the 3 o'clock hour, I want to do our Frisky Friday discussion. Maybe like 3:20 after Chris Vanini. And we're going to make this a weekly thing. I already have the idea for next week. Maybe we should have done it this week, but we'll do things backwards in true man-of-the-match fashion. I want to rank Bond girls next week. Maybe this would have been the week to do it after Sean Connery's tragic passing, but we're going to talk about the best female Marvel superheroes and DC. I'll throw DC in there as well. We're going to do that in the 3 o'clock hour. Coming up next, Tito had an amazing idea on how we can improve things. I'm always looking for ways. Thanksgiving. It means different things to different people, okay? Maybe the highlight for you on Thanksgiving is watching NFL football. Maybe the highlight for you is getting Jay drunk. Maybe the highlight for you is spending time with your family. For some people, that's a low light, because some people are not really, don't get along that well with extended family members. Or maybe the highlight for you is there's a problem, though, with the eating app. Turkey is the most overrated meat on the planet.
We'd like to thank you for sticking with us through it all.
On Thanksgiving, like it's some man's.
We love the energy and the passion that you bring to this.
I want to get to that. This is South Florida's new choice for local sports talk, On-Site Radio.
We along with Baptist
Best is yet to come. Thank you.
have developed effective protocol for COVID-19. It has helped us limit the spread of COVID-19 and kept the players and staff safe. The COVID-19 protocol for Inter Miami.
A couple of people asking me what's the deal with this tropical storm. Edda, the one that's going to be in the area of ETA, which always makes me think of the rival. From what I can tell from the projections I looked at before, it's not going to be a direct hit to us, but the center of it may go over like around the Key West area, and it's going to kind of bend around the Gulf, but we are within that cone where we could get some nasty weather. So really what I look out for, you could have a lot of rain, strong wind gusts, am I going to need to hunker down my family, put up my shutters? Am I going to lose power? That's one. I don't think that's going to be the case for this one. I don't. But then the other thing is, how is this going to affect any local sporting events, right? Because we have one of those. Big one here on Sunday where we sit right now, Inter Miami CF Stadium. They're going to be taking on FC Cincinnati, scheduled for 1:30 p.m. on Sunday. I wonder how severe the weather might be that day. If it's really, really heavy, tropical storm type of wind, gusts, rain, if there's any sort of a contingency plan to possibly play that game either like a day early or a day later or several hours later. That's going to really cramp Major League Soccer style because they're going to have all these games going on simultaneously on Sunday afternoon for the various conferences. They're going to have games going on simultaneously, so you can't manipulate results, right? So the teams that are fighting for playoff spots are all going to play hard because you don't know if the other teams are going to give you help on the scoreboard or not. So they're really not going to want to have to move Inter Miami's game with FC Cincinnati. Cincinnati eliminated, but Inter Miami is playing for the chance of the playoff spot, so they're not going to want to move that game. But, an act of God, you may have to do something. God willing, the game's going to play and I would love to see a playbook schedule time, and also you need to do it in a way where it's safe enough to actually play the game and hold the game. And also remember that there are going to be fans in the stadium. About 2,500 souls will be here at the stadium, season ticket holders, supporters, the way that it was against Orlando City a couple of weeks ago. People want to see Inter Miami potentially, because we could have playoffs, but potentially see them in person for the final time until March when the season starts up again. So
we also
I want players and stuff Ada to stay far away from us, man. You can text us at 844-416-8120.
We have no positive tests.
I noticed something on social media. I just want people to speak up if they actually know something and shut the hell up if they don't. I keep seeing these coy tweets from Miami Heat about how something might possibly be happening behind the scenes. If these people claim to know something, spit it out, stay quiet, don't tease me with this. If you think there's something going on with maybe the Heat negotiating with Milwaukee for a trade or Giannis talking to the Heat about a contract, if you really think there's something going on behind the scenes, if you actually know something, tell us what you know. You don't have to name your sources. You can keep that private, but give us some actual information. Don't just tease me, because I'd love to know if there's actually something happening here, because if there's not, you're wasting my time.
Yeah, this is the I guess the Friday troll. I don't know. Maybe like I guess that
this is their version of Frisky Friday.
Yeah, this is their version of Frisky Friday, which I guess is just teasing everybody and making everyone feel like something could happen. And I like those guys. I really appreciate everything.
Hola la familia. Hi Inter Miami fans.
Sabemos que ha sido un año inusual, lleno de desafíos.
We would like to thank you for sticking with us through it all. We love the energy and the passion that you bring to this club.
Et ce fut un honneur de représenter les meilleurs fans de la MLS.
Su apoyo significa mucho para nosotros y realmente lo apreciamos.
The best is yet to come. Thank you.
Lo mejor está por venir. Muchas gracias. Hola la familia.
Hi Inter Miami fans.
Sabemos que ha sido un año inusual, lleno de desafíos.
We would like to thank you for sticking with us through it all. We love the energy and the passion that you bring to this club.
Et ce fut un honneur de représenter les meilleurs fans de la MLS.
Su apoyo significa mucho para nosotros y realmente lo apreciamos.
The best is yet to come. Thank you.
Lo mejor está por venir. Muchas gracias.
Today, we are here as part of the Inter Miami CF Back to School program presented by Gallagher. With kids going back to school virtually, we saw a need for just basic equipment for them to be successful while trying to learn from home.
No, stop.
With virtual learning, technology is major in helping them succeed, be successful, and we're lucky enough here today to be giving 150 tablets to kids in South Florida. We are grateful to all of our partners and teammates who have really stepped up, particularly Gallagher, who made all of this possible, and the kids and all of us are forever grateful for you guys.
Storm on the edge of a hurricane. The weather is going to come and go as the squalls come in and recede.
Higuain into the middle looking for Morgan. Time cut out by Van der Werf. He's been plenty busy in this opening 9 minutes.
Another good willing run by Morgan. As Kalen was saying, it's not just his wonderful precision with his passes and his finishing, it's the ability and the real industry in him to do defending and also to break his back with long bursting runs to get into space for Gonzalo Higuain and Agudelo.
Give me the keys to the game for this one.
For me, I think a lot of it has to do with the tempo that Miami sets. Right from the get-go, they need to assert themselves and build it with the confidence and the passing and the sharpness. And if they can do that, they'll drive up the ladder and earn the right to win this game.
Morgan early cross looking for Agudelo and just cut out by Haglund. And Inter Miami continue to knock on the door.
Yeah, they've set the tempo right from the get-go.
Matuidi sends it wide.
Unlucky.
Just not able to reach it.
Again, players all complaining about it, but that's the way it's going to be.
Kaylin, what about the defensive keys for this one?
Yeah, it's going to be super important. This pitch is slick. Obviously, you have AJ De La Garza here on the right-hand side, Mikey Ambrose on that left-hand side. Two defenders that aren't consistent starters for this team. Obviously, you have LGP in that back line alongside Reyes, both coming back after those yellow card accumulations. So the whole back line hasn't played together, but we've seen it last game. They made it work playing that 3-back, but now they've gone into the 4. So just being defensively extremely tough to break down, not getting stuck in and around tackles in and around the 18, not giving anything away sloppy, and being aggressive off the front.
Here's Goodman, who'll reset to Spencer Ritchie. 4 across the back for Cincinnati in front of Ritchie. It's Bailey, Van der Werf, Haglund, and Goodman. 2 holding midfielders in Mokocho, the South Africa international, and the captain Medunjanin. This is the run being made by Kovacevic, who was upended. Incidental contact in the view of the referee, nothing given, and Kovacevic on his debut, slow to get up.
Well, another big key to the game is Lady Luck. In a big way, she needs to flutter her eyelashes at this Inter Miami team today, because they have had absolutely no luck this season. So in these conditions, the luck's going to favor one team or the other, and Inter Miami certainly in the death column when it's come to good fortune.
Well, here is the 21-year-old mentioned, the young Croatian striker who was just announced in mid-October. It's a bit of a collision there with Gonzalez Pires, and
I don't think Pires did much wrong. He just stood his ground, and certainly, yep, Kovacevic just hurtling into him. Croatian lads are tough. He'll be all right.
Ball carries away from De La Garza. It'll be a throw for Cincinnati.
Suppose the latest news and speculation coming out of Spain is that Sergio Ramos, the Real Madrid man, whoa, look at this!
Richie able to get there.
Hard stop and stuff. Sergio Ramos tipped with having some conversations with David Beckham about coming to Miami.
You don't say.
Yep.
Pizarro lays it off. Here's Mikey Ambrose getting involved in the attack. Ambrose looking for an opening. Finds Matuidi. Does just get the cross in. It hangs in the air and falls for Spencer Ritchie. Oh, meanwhile, we've got an update, a scoring update from the nation's capital, where DC United have taken the lead 1-0 against Montreal. And again, Miami need for 2 of those 3 teams that are in contention to drop points today. Well, at the moment, Montreal is one of those, and they're dropping points against DC United.
There's Lady Luck fluttering her eyelashes.
The goal by Donovan Pines for United. It came just 9 minutes in. So if Montreal draw, which would be 1 point better than they're currently getting, it would leave them on 24 points. A Miami win would leave those 2 teams level on 24, and Miami would be ahead on goal difference, the second tiebreaker. It's a good ball by Will Trapp.
It's a great run by Morgan.
Morgan's got options in the middle. Morgan trying to squeeze the cross in. It was just blocked by Haglund.
Wonderful supporting run from Pizarro as well. And Agudelo bursts his lungs to get on the other end of it on the back post. Morgan tries to find either one, but good defending.
Overly aggressive that time from Andres Reyes, making his return from a 1-game suspension, and quite the season. Roller coaster of a campaign for the young Colombian, just 21 years old. Playing with that carbon fiber mask now because of a facial fracture earlier in the campaign. He's had an own goal, he's been sent off.
Yeah.
It's been quite the introduction to MLS.
Yeah, some tough breaks, no question about it. A good player and a good defender, and still got a lot of good potential to come out of him. He's a little gem that needs to be polished, no question, but he's shown the right stuff in a lot of situations. And again, wonderful by Morgan and the pressing.
Van der Werf, Haglund. Well, for Inter Miami, 4 at the back. De La Garza, Reyes, Gonzalez Pires, and Mikey Ambrose in front of John McCarthy, who continues to deputize for the captain, Luis Robles. Will Trapp and Blaise Matuidi, the central midfielders. Morgan, Agudelo, and Pizarro in support of Gonzalo Higuain. Pizarro dispossessed by Mococho. Here's Amaya, able to get in behind Will Trapp. This is dangerous. Lucadia. De La Garza sliding in. Well, he got the ball, but enough contact in the view of the referee to also give the foul, and first free kick in a dangerous spot for Cincinnati.
De La Garza won this one pretty well. It looked as if it was clean. Take a look at it again. It's a good attack. He gets the ball. Isn't it a contact game? Used to be when I played.
You'd hate to be a defender nowadays, wouldn't you, Ray?
I'd never be a defender. I'd never be a defender, Keelan Kale.
Fighting words. So it is the captain, Marunian, who is getting ready to deliver here for Cincinnati. As we wait for him to get the go-ahead, Montreal have leveled against DC United. It's still a result that would work for Miami. Marunian in toward the back post. Agudelo trying to clear the danger. Gathered up by Mococho. All dragged in toward the edge of the 6. There was Gonzalez Pires. Back in toward the penalty spot. It's Amaya. Closed down and throwing his body in the way. De La Garza with potential goal saving.
Cavalry of white shirts coming to the rescue there. Really good response from Inter Miami to a ball that was really played into the area with a bit of snap, crackle, pop, and in these conditions, that's exactly what Cincinnati wanted. It nearly fell their way, but it was a good convergence of white shirts to defend.
Well, goals coming fast and furious in other matches. New York City now leading the Fire 1-0 thanks to Alexander Callens. Peru international has scored for New York City. So at the moment, Miami would still be out, but only because they have yet to score. But other results have broken their way. Need 2 of those 3 teams to drop points, and on the live table, 2 of them are. Really, all 3 of them are at the moment. The other game is 0-0.
Well, the other teams aren't playing in a tropical storm, though.
Nothing comes easy this season as Reyes.
Good tackle. Nice turn, nice touch again. He'll turn.
Matuidi.
It's a great lead.
Ball for Agudelo.
It's got it.
And it's Agudelo in behind.
Target's arriving.
Higuain makes the run. Squared back in. Just enough of a touch from Goodman. And it's pulled back to Spencer Ritchie.
Nice move. Started from Andres Reyes, winning the ball nicely. Sliding down, getting down and dirty. And a wonderful stab ball in. And that just folded up space like the SS Enterprise there, hitting warp speed. Good attack from Inter again, rattling the latch, but not able to find the targets with a final ball.
Here's Pizarro. Pizarro It's more like it. Why not test the goalkeeper in this win from distance? That takes a deflection. It'll be a corner kick for Miami.
I wish I could tell you, as you said earlier, Kaelin, that they're playing with the wind behind the back. It seems like it's a circular wind.
Feels like we're in a tornado a little bit, but I do like what Inter Miami is doing right now with that back four. They're just having Will Trapp sit in, allowing Matuidi just to play a little bit higher and to win that ball higher up the pitch.
So here is Lewis Morgan. In swinger toward the penalty spot. He'll do it again. That took a wicked bend, didn't it?
I tell you what, he defies Mother Nature, the Scotsman. He looks at Mother Nature and snickers at her. What a ball again from Lewis. See if he can replicate it again.
Lewis Morgan, another in-swinger. This time toward the near post.
Absolute
delivery again.
peach of a pass.
Ambrose has a goal. Sent it. Goal!
Get in!
And it's Mikey Ambrose with the opener!
Golazo! Golazo! Asso! Asso! Mikey Ambrose lights the blue touch paper and ignites it. This is a wonderful strike of top class quality. And it all starts, of course, from the beautiful Scotsman with a wonderful corner kick that gives problems. Here's the whipped-in ball, beautifully delivered again. They think they've cleared it. They think wrong. Mickey onto it, like Dracula onto a plate of liver. And he absolutely detonates this. One touch to control, second one to send it home with a dozen roses tied around it. For the ex-Atlanta United man, Marilyn Terrapin's boy, Mickey Ambrose.
It is a first career MLS goal for Mikey Ambrose, and it could not come at a better time. Called on to start in the most important match of the season, and he has delivered.
And it couldn't have come for a better person. I can't tell you how hard this player works, both on and off the pitch, shows up to training sessions, and this is what I love about this opportunity, is he has the confidence to hit this outside of the box, and it is an absolute strike.
Look out.
Gadia now dancing in front of Matuidi, has a go, and McCarthy settles it on the bounce.
I was a little bit urgently saying look out, because we all know Inter Miami has got a propensity to let these leads slip after striking the net. A couple of minutes later, the other team's back on the board. So right now, they've got to lock it down mentally as much as the physical side of it.
Well, 7 times this season, Ray, they've conceded a goal within 10 minutes of scoring themselves. So maximum concentration needed. And here's a free kick for Cincinnati. It's only the 3rd start this season for Mikey Ambrose. He's starting in relief of Ben Sweat, who's not available today. And boy, did he strike that well. Hagelin.
This is control as much as anything, Andres. First touch is everything in professional football, and he settled it beautifully with his chest and thought, you know what, why not? Kaboom.
Ambrose. Reyes. Interesting to note that Andres Reyes and Gonzalez Pires have switched positions for this match. Usually they're the other way around. Here's a yellow card for Hagelin as he brings down Agudelo.
Hagelin knew what he was doing here. It was a lovely turn from Agudelo. He's saying, no, I didn't do anything. Pinocchio.
On the live table right now, Inter Miami are inside of the playoffs, inside of the play-in round to the MLS Cup playoffs.
There's a tackle that would dehorn a caribou, that, from Hagelin.
Pizarro with a churn, draws contact from Bailey. Free kick for Inter Miami.
Hasn't been on the ball as much as he'd like to, the Magic Mexican, but give him time.
Only the 3rd time this season that Pizarro, Higuain, Matuidi all get a chance to play together. Remember, it's a team that was under construction mid-season. Adding the likes of Gonzalez Pires, Matuidi, Gonzalo Higuain, Federico Higuain, all about a month apart. Well, the 2021 season tickets are on sale, by the way. Go to intermiamicf.com/tickets to get yours. Lewis Morgan delivers toward the penalty spot. It's headed back by Mokocho and also close to an own goal.
I'll tell you how admirable his number 7's dead ball situations are. Under these conditions, that is a phenomenally weighted, beautifully directed ball. It's not overhit, it's not underhit. It's just right.
Worth noting, Scotland is the windiest country on earth, so plenty of practice for a young Lewis Morgan coming into today. Headed in, and it's a second goal for Inter Miami. Leandro Gonzalez-Pires from a corner doubles the lead for the Herons.
Get Morgan, man! Morgan, Morgan, Morgan! The finish is magnificent, but Gonzalez-Pires is cool as a greyhound's nose. But it's Morgan again that deserves it. A medal as big as a frying pan. Look at this ball! And that's a phenomenal header. Stupendously magnificent from Leandro. He contorts his body like an Olympic gymnast. The man from Argentina strikes with service from Scotland, lad.
Well, it was a late winner by Gonzalez-Pires that kept Miami's playoff chances alive a couple of games back. In the 90th minute from a Lewis Morgan corner kick. Rinse and repeat, this time to double the lead on the season finale. Prior to joining Inter Miami, Gonzalez-Pires was scoring goals for fun in the Liga MX in Tijuana.
It's an astonishing header. An astonishing header. He's literally looking away from the ball because as he's attacking this, he's got to adjust his run. And in order to meet it, he's got to virtually turn his back and run away from the goal, and he still contorts his neck like Linda Blair in The Exorcist. Magnificent. Magisterial, nothing less.
Way to go for the modern-day reference, Ray. Here's Pizarro.
Hey,
weather does something to Ray. He is on it today.
It's a classic The Exorcist. Are you kidding me?
Nice work by Juan Agudelo. Good patience.
Oh, he's in!
Garza is still onside. De La Garza pulling it back, looking for Pizarro. That took a deflection off Goodman. And now a late offside decision. As the referee's assistant on the near side brings the flag up.
Yeah, I think De La Garza realized he was offside, but the whistle didn't go because he didn't get the flag from the referee's assistant. But a perfect start for Inter Miami. Earned the right to win with some real good football and good pressing, energized football. And at the back, Andres Reyes having a real stalwart of the game as well.
It's Mike Ambrose who's whistled for the foul here. Restarted by Mokocho. Medunjanin will bring it out of the back for Cincinnati. Here's Frankie Amaya. One of the youngsters on this Cincinnati team. Amaya, just 20 years old, a Santa Ana, California native. It's the first overall pick in the 2019 Super Draft. Rolled back to Richie. Haglund.
And you can see from Inter Miami right now, just dropping into that 4-4-2 tight block, like we've said all season long, tend to concede after they've scored. Didn't concede after the first, so let's see if they can hold this 2-0 lead going into halftime.
Here's Haglund, plenty of touches for the two center backs of Cincinnati so far. Amaya will try and bring it forward. Bump from behind by Agudelo. Van der Ruff. Tight lines defensively from Inter Miami. Has talked about that maximum concentration after scoring a goal. Roll back once more for Nick Haglund. The Bosnian Medunjanin.
Two stupendous goals though, Kaelin. Beautiful goals. I mean, the first one was an absolute golazo, but the second one was in a similar way of the quality and the execution from an impossible angle.
And you talked about it, Ray. One of the keys to the match is Lewis Morgan. And it's not his ability to score goals and make assists, but his ability from set pieces, his ability to play both offensively and defensively and cover the amount of ground that he covers.
The Scotsman's got better biorhythms than a peregrine falcon.
I get most of your references, Ray.
look.
They're way over my head today.
And the quality of this under these conditions, just again, so applaudable. And see how these other results go. As they're looking a confident bunch in white.
They only need 2 of the 3 results. They're currently getting all 3, plus their own. A 2-0 lead in the early going. 2 goals in the first 23 minutes for the Herons. Here's Goodman. Amaya has been the reference point in this stretch of play for Cincinnati. Good for him to pull the strings. Now the right back, Zico Bailey. Working against Ambrose. The ball is into the area for Georgiou. And it just fizzes wide of the back post. First real threat showed from Cincinnati.
Alfin and out for a throw-in to FC Cincinnati. 29th minute, Inter Miami lead by 2-0 over FC Cincinnati. Matudine now into Makocho.
And you just mentioned Matuidi. How good has Matuidi been in starting to press out of his midfield position, but forcing pressure on the ball, then everybody else joins in. Well done.
Fix the internet! Fix the internet! Trying to find Pizarro. Matuidi now in the middle of the pitch. Morgan now right in the challenge of Madunian. Now trotting towards the left-hand side. Gonzalez Pires.
Just the confidence in this team. For the last few weeks, obviously we gave up some bad goals, but throughout this team has gotten better in the last few weeks. Better on the ball.
Taylor Garza trying to play it behind towards Agudelo, but it'll come for Richie.
Better movement as well. They finally found that balance with Will Trapp and Matuidi in midfield. And Lewis Morgan just continues to be huge for this club, but both goals come from his service on set pieces.
Absolutely. We're going to reset the LGB.
MVP.
Yep.
Now Vanderwerf. Inter Miami trying to send some pressure forward as Vanderwerf finds João in the middle of the pitch. Gonzalez Pires trying to shoulder him off it. He does manage to find Makocho out of the pressure.
And that's key to success.
Has been on full display. He had trained for much of the season.
What I mean by that is if your first line of confrontation is an Higuain, Matuidi steps, that your center backs need to step as well. You play 1v1, which I know is a little bit of a gamble, but if you have pressure on the ball and the heads are down, then you can do that. So LGP stepping into midfield, absolutely brilliant.
Let's play it again. Let's play it again. Where is the ball? What is the ball? What is the ball? Now Morgan is in the right-hand side. Agudelo is in the center. Higuain is in the left. What is the ball?
Kovacevic coming forward for FC Cincinnati. Franco Kovacevic onto his right, crosses into the back post. Ambrose is able to loop it away. And it's Madunian nodding down there. Pizarro trying to take out of the air. Pizarro, who will leave Inter Miami at the conclusion of this game to join up with the Mexican national team. Got a pair of internationals coming up. Pizarro now. Slid out towards Morgan on the right. Morgan now back into Pizarro. Morgan continuing his run. Morgan into Agudelo. First time flick back. It was a lovely bit of one-touch play, but Agudelo's final ball didn't come off nicely. We have news of a goal from elsewhere, and it's good again for Inter Miami. New York City FC lead by 2-0 over Chicago Fire away from home at Soldier Field. Some more positive results coming there. Again, Miami leading 2-0 and getting all 3 results in their favor that they needed before the start of the day. Things are looking good at the moment.
Stop the games! Stop the games!
Madunian in the middle, on the edge of the center circle in his own half. 32nd minute, Inter Miami lead by 2-0. It's a pair of defenders on the score sheet, Mikey Ambrose and Leandro Gonzalez Pires for Inter Miami.
Pretty amazing that we're in the last game of the season, decision day, and there's 4 games that are huge. And also for the Supporters Shield, by the way, Toronto and Philadelphia are still playing for it. And obviously later on today, all the West teams as well.
Higuain trying to play on there, but just lost out. It was Haglund who won it back, but back at the other end of the play, it was indeed a late tackle from Locadia onto Gonzalez Pires, and it is Gonzalez Pires who's won a free kick for Inter Miami.
Oh, yeah, I hate this thing, man. Watching one game live, watching four screens.
Let's look at the empty buckets, 4-4-2 as well, with Matuidi and Will Trapp sitting in there. The white players, Morgan and Pizarro, pushed up a little bit high. And by the way, how good has Mikey Ambrose been on both sides of the ball?
Nice dummy there from Pizarro in towards Agudelo. And Agudelo frustrated that advantage wasn't awarded. And now the referee is going to give a free kick here to Inter Miami, but it's more that the advantage wasn't awarded, in my view. So it'll be another free kick. News of a goal elsewhere, not as good for Inter Miami. Chicago Fire getting one back through Robert Barrich. A quick response the Slovenian international, scoring his 12th goal of the year. A good signing, and a good ball from Georgi Mihailovic. So it's Chicago 1, New York City FC 2. Chicago would need 2 more to overturn the result.
Are not enough.
Draws are not enough against Inter Miami, who are actually aided by a wins tiebreaker. They have 6 wins in the campaign as Morgan sends it in towards Reyes, but it's Makocho with the header away.
Another thing to remember is that all the Eastern teams, they will play the full season.
Yes,
the 23 games.
Right. There won't be any.
It's fine.
There won't be any points per game situations.
Exactly.
As Pizarro allows a long ball thrown out for a goal kick. We do have news of a goal from elsewhere, and it's gone Inter Miami's way in the nation's capital. Ola Kamara nodding in from the edge of the 6-yard box. DC United now lead Montreal Impact by 2-1. So right now, all 3 teams that Inter Miami are competing with are losing.
Which
by 1 goal, we need 2 of them to overturn 2 goals in order to knock Inter Miami out.
Still an interesting game. If you just look at those matchups and you look at the Columbus for Chicago, if you are a betting man, it's an easy choice, quite frankly.
Van der Werf for Haglund.
Another goal here is the Columbus Crew have taken a 1-0 lead against
Same,
Atlanta. So other
usually
results
with
also going Inter
NYFC,
Miami's way.
so much better than Chicago on paper. Columbus at home, haven't lost, by the way, at home. So all good signs for Miami being up 2-0.
Van der Werf now from the middle of the pitch. Fernando reacting out of half chances for the teams that Inter Miami are keeping an eye on. It's all happening. 35th minute, Inter Miami leading by 2-0 for FC Cincinnati.
This is Chris Whittingham's personal TV he brought with him. Seriously, it is unbelievable.
No, the same time that Thomas Longen is saying that New York City is much better than Chicago, Chicago almost won.
Almost is not good enough.
I know, that's a good point.
We almost should have won 10 games.
You're almost pregnant. You can be almost pregnant.
Makocho now on the halfway line for FC Cincinnati. Well, just a bit delirious here. It's a bonkers game played under bonkers circumstances. Madunia did for Makocho. A 23-game regular season coming down to the final day after a global pandemic in the middle of a hurricane. Oh, it's just a bit mad, isn't it? Makocho on the halfway line.
And for people like the 3 of us that have suffered through this, we deserve this, by the way.
Yeah.
We deserve
well,
it.
That's also,
it's
I would
not
say
over yet, but
the fans in attendance are doing much more than we have over the course. There's about 800 to 900 fans right now in the stands that have come to the game, despite there being a hurricane outside.
It's raining hard.
Gonzalez Pires
Hallelujah.
to Pizarro on the left-hand side. Inter Miami now trying to take control of a game that right now has them in a good position. By 2-0 they lead. Trap in the center circle. Into the feet of Morgan, a good pocket of space. Carrying forward, trying to slide out for Ambrose. Nice ball there for Mikey Ambrose. Whips the cross into the penalty area. Agudelo with a header towards goal. It's going to land on the roof of Spencer Ritchie's net and out for a goal kick to FC Cincinnati.
Some real good football here. You know, building on the right, ending up with switching the point of attack with Morgan, 2-year overlapping left fullback, Mikey Ambrose, who puts in a good cross as well. Not easy to just step in the biggest game of the year and contribute, similar to Juan Agudelo that hasn't seen a lot of minutes as of late. I think they've been very good.
Zhao with the flick on now. Cincinnati trying to keep it in play as wind continues to go flying through the stadium. Wind is rain as well.
Tries to direct it, but the quality again
Now,
in the lead up
Makocho
to the wide man is
carrying it for FC Cincinnati. 37th minute of play. Camohelo Makocho. Previous with the hierarchy at FC Cincinnati. The distributing central midfielder. Locadia on the right. Former record signing of Brighton and Hove Albion in the Premier League. £15 million the Dutchman went for. News of a goal from elsewhere has come in, and again it favors Inter Miami. New York City FC lead by 3-1 over Chicago Fire at Soldier Field, restoring their 2-goal advantage. Pizarro into Higuain. Morgan was making a run, but instead he played the conservative ball there with Higuain. Pizarro then making the run and Trap playing the more conservative ball with De La Garza.
I'm fine with that, actually. Showing a little bit of patience. Through balls. are 50-50 balls a lot of times, so go for security.
And it comes down to the
the ball
defensive
move.
work that
De La
the
Garza.
players are doing at the moment.
Trying to get around Andrew Koopman, put in a good tackle. He feels like he won the ball and played it off De La Garza. Will indeed be a throw-in to FC Cincinnati. Jaap Stam vigorously arguing for it. The Cincinnati manager, now Madunian.
De La Garza.
Does it feel like it's getting worse in terms of wind and rain, or
No,
just me?
no, it's fine.
As I said, guys, if you can tell me how it's affected the game.
No,
What are you taking personally?
Let me know.
What are you taking personally?
I am a little bit, guys. because
When you were playing,
here.
playing in this stadium,
I've
the
played
field,
here.
the field was on the other side. It was east to west. Now it's north to south.
Damn it,
Yes or no?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, I will
I
say
was here
though.
too. I used to watch
Have we
it.
seen balls that be hanging up in the
No,
air?
no.
I'm old enough also. I'm old enough also.
That's the end, what it's all about, guys.
You know, you're absolutely
Not when the
right.
ball
It
moves
is-
a little bit
it
of a
has-
free kick.
it just feels like conditions are deteriorating, as it were. Although it has, you're absolutely right, Thomas. It has not affected the game as yet.
No.
Zhao plays down the right side.
Some European games around this time of the year.
39th minute of play. Zhao towards the byline, trying to get a strong crossaway towards Kovacevic on the back post. He has to nod it into the stand, into the supporters section. And remarkable how many have stuck it out and are still attempting to fly their flags. That, for me, is the boldest sign of fan display that I've seen this season. Is the middle of a driving rainstorm and vigorous wind, you're still trying to fly your flags. That cannot be an easy task.
And if the winds pick up a little bit, you're gonna fly with the flag.
It will be a goal kick for Inter Miami. McCarthy will take it from his own 6-yard box again, wearing a baseball cap to deal with the conditions. Out of the way there from Van der Werf. Now getting turned there, Kovacevic. Reyes, little shoulder to shoulder, and a free kick awarded there. Enough contact on Franco Kovacevic.
Yeah, you can right now put something on Kovacevic, Amaya, and Joe Zhao, which are the three only players that seem to be able to create. They definitely keep the zero. And I'm telling you, the back four, including Goodman, the right fullback, is so vulnerable right now that we could add to this lead before halftime.
Kovacevic now over the free kick, a little more than 5 minutes to play. Again, as things stand, Inter Miami would make the MLS Cup playoffs. With a win here by 2 goals, and all 3 other teams that they needed to losing. As it's a strike coming in there from Kovacevic, just kind of glided on the surface there. It came rather easily there for McCarthy. They will claim it.
Again, dealing with all that stuff so easily, guys. It's unbelievable. The way he stepped in, the way he's become a leader, the way he's made big saves for us, keeping the zero now again. Even on routine plays, which are not easy, guys. Always doing the right things.
Ray is trying to knot it on, but it's right into Amaya. Now Cincinnati again coming forward about 35 yards from goal. To the middle of the pitch, laid off there from Makocho. Now Kovacevic out to the left side. Gutman's early cross is in towards Locadia. Couldn't quite make contact. And now Pizarro looking to break.
Great interception by Reyes. Sliding block there, preventing, closing down passing lanes.
Matuidi now leaving it there for Higuain. Higuain now going to play the 1-2 there with Agudelo. Nice return there, and Higuain, first time out of his feet into Pizarro. His early cross is right into Gutman, and out for a throw-in down the near side for Inter Miami. Lovely first-time play, though, from the hosts.
Yeah, where is Morgan when you needed it the most?
And you feel that Higuain and Agudelo actually are looking a little bit for each other. You got that first ball from Higuain to Agudelo was just offside early on in this game. Now again, nice give and go, one-touch football, which is required around the 18-yard box, which you don't always get from our amigo Pizarro.
Trapp trying to knot it into the penalty area there. Haglund just getting rid. Ball getting stuck in the air. Now De La Garza trying to get around Kovacevic there, and it will be a free kick as De La Garza did commit the foul in the judgment of the referee.
In saying that, Pizarro's been very honest, guys, because that's hard work out of a 4-4-2. Playing on that left side, he's dropping back now again. He's helping Mikey Ambrose a little bit, which is important. And now you can really see the shape of that 4-4-2 of Inter Miami right now. Still a high line defensively, compact, Chris. So very good, moving well horizontally and vertically as a team, which they haven't done throughout this season.
What about the water break?
The water break.
The whole game is a water break. Tweedy
just open your mouth.
Trying to knot it on there, and it comes for Trapp, trying to slide him behind there towards Lewis Morgan. Morgan now trying to get the beating of Gutman, who puts in a strong sliding tackle.
Indicative of how much this team in white are focused here They're fighting everybody. They're fighting you over throw-ins.
So here's the live table. Currently in Major League Soccer is Inter Miami moving to 9th place. 2 spots.
He's still favoring them, but not the best, as Przemysław Frankowski has scored for Chicago, and now he's done so a second time. So he's got a brace in the space of a couple of minutes. It's now in the first half, Chicago 3, New York City FC 3.
No! That's crazy. In the first half?
In the first half of play, I think it'll probably be looked at for offside, because Frankowski might have been offside. But we will await and see if VAR does anything with that decision.
A lot of my former teammates, players can make a big impact. The keeper of NYFC obviously played for my under-20 team, Sean Johnson.
Well, the goal will stand in Chicago. So again, as things stand, all results in Inter Miami's favor. Chicago, though, drawing, while Atlanta and Montreal are losing.
And Philly up 1-0. If it stays that way, they win the Supporter Shield.
Very much indeed. As
got a better goal differential.
It's given away cheaply there by Medunjanin, right into Pizarro. Now has Matuidi overlapping. Pizarro now trying to play it into Higuain. For such, Higuain trying to get towards the byline and then trying to return it for Pizarro. Didn't quite come off as it caromed off of Haglund and picked up there by the Cincinnati goalkeeper, Richie.
And I want to do... Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, 90 seconds left to play in the first half. Inter Miami lead by 2-0.
But El Presidente talked about this time, Higuain actually puts Pizarro in a position where he can... And you're right, those two guys just are not on the same page for whatever reason.
They're not.
No.
Now, rain continuing to get even heavier here at the Inter Miami CF Stadium. Matuidi slid out towards Ambrose. Now Trapp.
These are great conditions to play in.
Great conditions?
Oh, yeah.
Guys, this is what players love.
Yeah.
Not 90 degrees, slick field, a little bit of rain. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Gonzalez Pires at the
Look how the
Higuain.
ball is zipping right now. That's one of the reasons Inter Miami
Morgan
played
in
so
towards
well.
Pizarro.
Boom,
Yeah,
look
Morgan
at that ball moving.
trying to slide out to the right. Morgan was cleared out though by Gutman, and it will be a free kick. TR, you moved here as a very young man. You were 22 years of age.
Yes.
When you moved from Holland to play in the United States with the
You
Fort
think
Lauderdale
this is the first
Strikers.
tropical depression in Fort Lauderdale?
No.
The first hurricane?
No, but
the first
I mean,
time during
no,
the
but
game?
from there to say it's the perfect
I
condition.
was going to say, you seem to still have your view of what Dutch football is like in terms of conditions
No,
and what you
this
enjoy
happens,
about the game.
This happens in the U.S. as well, Chris. I know you live here.
Let me be on your side. This is not a perfect condition. Not here, not in China.
It's a perfect condition. Ask all the players.
Morgan's free kick into the penalty area is headed away. Now Morgan carrying forward. Now slid out towards Trapp on the right-hand side. Trapp now trying to get the cross in. Haglund with a diving header away. Only as far as Morgan on the right. He's going to run at Makocho. Now Morgan. Minimum of 1 minute to be added on at the end of the first half. Morgan trying to get the cross away, but it had traversed the byline and out for a goal kick. And look, Fernando, we've never played professional football, so we can't argue too strongly here with TR. But he is saying these are good conditions. They are, though, quite strong. As
Why do you
Kovacevic,
think teams water the field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To play slick and have it.
Well, why do you
By
think?
the way,
Some of the teams.
we should say as well, the drainage here of this pitch is
It's
extraordinary.
It's brilliant.
It's fantastic.
It's brilliant. That's what I mean.
Some of the teams got a big fan on one side to have more wind. They do that also. They usually do that. They put a big fan at the end of the field, and so you can create a wind tunnel that it will help to make it a perfect condition.
Guys, normal conditions here at 3:30 on a Sunday, this time of the year, is 95 degrees with 90% humidity. That's a killer, by the way.
Yeah.
And that slows the game down because
I know.
players get. This is
This
beautiful.
is much better. This is much better.
Makocho now into Zico. Bailey coming forward from right back. Now into the feet of Kovacevic. Kovacevic in the penalty area. His strike takes a deflection off of Will Trapp.
And I think the play reflects that.
We thought it would be out for a corner, but instead it will be the halftime whistle from referee Guido Gonzalez Jr. Mikey Ambrose has given Inter Miami the lead, which was then doubled by Leandro Gonzalez Pires. Inter Miami leading by 2-0 at the break over FC Cincinnati. When we come back, Orlando Alzagari, Alex Cano, and Fernando Fiore will have their thoughts from the opening 45 minutes of play. Again, as things stand, Inter Miami in the postseason. They'll have to see it out for another 45 minutes.
Hallelujah.
Halftime show is on the way here on the Inter Miami CF Radio Network.
Sí, señor.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans.
Hola a la familia.
Hi, Inter Miami fans.
Sabemos que ha sido un año inusual, lleno de desafíos.
We would like to thank you for sticking with us through it all. We love the energy and the passion that you bring to this club.
Et ce fut un honneur de représenter les meilleurs fans de la MLS.
Su apoyo significa mucho para nosotros y realmente lo apreciamos.
The best is yet to come. Thank you.
Lo mejor está por venir. Muchas gracias.
Tenemos que afrontarlos y seguir empujando porque tenemos esperanza, tenemos vida. Tenemos que hacer nuestro trabajo bien el día domingo.
We prepare very well. It's the most important game in this season, so we are focused on this game and we'll do all we can for win this game.
Yeah, if we want to be in the playoff, we need to win today.
Manu, does anyone hear me? I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Tenemos que afrontarlos y seguir empujando porque tenemos esperanza, tenemos vida. Tenemos que hacer nuestro trabajo bien el día domingo.
We prepare very well. It's
Cool.
the
How long
most
do I got here?
important game
Do I need to throw?
in this season,
I know,
so
but do I need to
we
throw
are
to break?
focused on this game and we'll do all we can for win this game.
Yeah, if we want to be in the playoff, we need to win
How
today.
much time do you think, just so I can plan how long I take on each team part? Welcome into Inter Miami CF Stadium. I am Kaylin Kyle, just running from the broadcast booth to bring it all here. The wind, I want to say it's kind of died down. It has not. The rain is going around as if it's like tornadoes here. You don't really know which way it is going, but these players have absolutely come out to win this match. I mean, you look at Inter Miami CF coming into this game. They know it was a must-win. Obviously, coming off 2 losses, you have LGP coming back into the lineup. Reyes coming back into the lineup after that yellow card accumulation. You have 2 fullbacks that haven't been in the starting 11, Mikey Ambrose especially, and then he goes on to get a goal, but I will get to that in a minute. I want to just talk about some results around the league because we do need a little bit of help in and around the league. I have my little cheat sheet here if it doesn't blow away on me. But right now, as it's standing, Chicago 3, New York City FC 3, DC United 2, Montreal 1, Columbus 1, and ATL 0. So we have results going our way right now. So Lady Luck is finally on our side. 2020 has basically put the cherry on top today. We're playing in tropical storm here in Miami, Florida, but the players have been playing absolutely brilliant. Diego Alonso coming out in that 4-2-3-1 with LGP and Reyes anchoring that back line. And the biggest shift that we haven't really seen all season is when this Inter Miami team have scored. defensively. We tend to get scored on 7 to 10 minutes after. And you've seen Diego Alonso change systematically of what he's doing. So instead of staying in that 4-2-3-1 defensively, they're jumping into that 4-4-2 block, making it extremely difficult for FC Cincinnati to break through them, play through the lines, play around the lines, obviously. And then you see the work that Pizarro is doing out on that left-hand side with Mikey Ambrose. Obviously, Mikey Ambrose does not look out of place, to say the least. This is a kid that I've seen in Orlando. I've seen him in Atlanta United, and now here. It's a player that you want on your team. He's always ready for the opportunity. He's always ready when he is called upon. And he's probably one of the hardest working players, both on and off the pitch, and always supporting everyone. Just to see him get that go-ahead goal, I mean, it was an absolute golazo, top of the box, takes it off his chest, smashes that one home. But again, you just see the defensive work that he's doing as well out on that left-hand side, and the coverage that LGP is giving him. It's been absolutely brilliant. And then jumping over to the right-hand side with Lewis Morgan, obviously AJ De La Garza. Again, I had an interview midweek with goalkeeper John McCarthy, and I asked him the tough question. When you guys are doing 4v4 in games, who is the first player that you pick in your match? And you know who he said is AJ De La Garza. And this just proves this guy has, in preseason, played in the midfield unit, then went to center back last week, playing 3-5-2 with this Inter Miami squad, and played absolutely brilliant with Powell and McCoon in that back line. Then he's jumped out here to this right-hand fullback side and had been absolutely exquisite today. And again, you see the work rate of Lewis Morgan out on that right-hand side, coming back, helping cover with AJ De La Garza. And like I said, playing in those two banks of four, making it extremely tough on FC Cincinnati. I need a ponytail here or a haircut. But when we come back, we're going to break down a couple of the goals and break down what's going on in the midfield and why are they been so successful moving the ball from the back line up into that front line. All this next after the break. Okay. Welcome back into Inter Miami CF Stadium. We are at halftime here. Inter Miami up 2-0 versus FC Cincinnati. But I want to jump into what's going on in and around the league because, yes, this is a must-win game for us, but we need some results to go our way. So let's take a look at some of the highlights. So we have Chicago taking on New York City FC. That game right now at halftime is 3-3, an absolute golazo fest. So we want to just look at that game especially. We need New York City FC to win that match or end up in a draw. Then I want to jump over to the DC United game versus Montreal. I mean, again, golazos all around the league. DC United leading that one 2-1. That result is going our way. We need Montreal to drop points as they're sitting ahead of us in that table. And then Columbus versus ATL. Columbus holding on to that 1-0 win right now as of halftime. Again, we need Columbus to hold on to that win. We only need 2 of those results to go Inter Miami's way. Inter Miami collect the win today. They're sitting at 25 points. And if these results hold, we are through to the playoffs and well-deserved through to the playoffs. These players have been through so much this season with the COVID, with going into the MLS bubble down in Orlando and having so many close games. And then to put the cherry on the top, we're playing in a tropical storm. I mean, this is 2020 in a nutshell for this Inter Miami squad, but they have been so resilient. You look at players coming into this squad and stepping up big. like a player like Mikey Ambrose coming in today, getting the jump done. Obviously, Ben Sweat unavailable for this match, and Mikey Ambrose putting one away early. Then you look at the play of Lewis Morgan on both sides of the ball. Defensively, he's been brilliant. Offensively, he's been brilliant. Set pieces, he's been exquisite. You saw the help that we got from Will Trapp early on because the ball kept rolling. Kind of reminded me of an NFL match, a field goal. They had to hold his finger on it. I mean, these guys are literally doing everything for these clubs. And then we look at these supporters. I mean, we have just under 3,000 supporters here supporting the team, trying to push them through, being that 12th man on the pitch because they know what this means to this city. They know what it means to this club. They know what it means to the ownership. I mean, the ownership has been nothing but perfection here, especially dealing with everything. And we're just delighted to be part of it. We're in the broadcast booth getting absolutely rained on. I mean, the hair's all over the place, but we're delighted to be here. We're delighted to share this journey with you. And hopefully we can say after this next 45 minutes that we are in the playoffs in Inter Miami. Keys for Inter Miami in the second half. They're coming out. They're going against the wind. So super important defensively. Don't get caught out. Make sure you're playing in those that 4-4-1-1 block. Very tight, like we saw in that first half. Didn't give up any goals after they went on with that 2-0 lead. So extremely important. And then also really important for Reyes and LGP at that back line. Don't give away anything sloppy in and around the box. Be very clinical when it comes to defending 1v1. Make sure you have support. The pitch is wet. The wind, we don't really know which way it's going. You can tell by my hair, it's going front, sideways, and back. So it's going to be so important for this team to play for one another. Now, with that being said, I'm going to send it back to the radio booth because I need to go get ready for the next 45 minutes. All this next. Yeah, no problem. Good. Do what you want to do.
I can tell you. Bodega Trevento, a shared passion. What passion do we share right now with any changes?
Well, you may see Federico Higuain come on at some point, Victor Ulloa. You might see
You guys talked about it at halftime.
No, you didn't.
You don't change anything right now. You be aggressive in the first 15 minutes. You look for the third goal. When you talk about it as a coach looking for the third goal, you're telling your team to be aggressive, to be on the front foot, which I expect them to be as well. And then when the game goes on, yeah, you settle in and you make the changes that will help your team defend, i.e. adding a defender or maybe, bringing somebody like Pellegrini off the bench who is a hard worker that will give you something defensively and still something going forward.
Yeah, please don't make the changes at the 87th minute or 88th minute if we need some miracle thing happen at that time. Try to, Diego, I mean, I'm not a coach, but try to, depends on the result. If we keep it like this, it will be absolutely fantastic. But I don't like those changes on the 88, 89 minutes unless we are winning 3-4-0 at that time and we want to waste some time on the clock. That would be,
right now, and you role play as a coaching staff, the what ifs. What if we are up 2-0 at the 60th minute? What if we are still up at the 70th minute? And if there's no need to change, don't change.
Amaya on the left-hand side now. Cincinnati coming forward down the left as Kovacevic has a go. And it's gone wide of target for a goal kick to Inter Miami. About 70 seconds into the second half, Inter Miami will have the opportunity from the goal kick. We are keeping track of the other three matches that affect Inter Miami. Columbus 1, Atlanta 0, NYCFC 3, Chicago 3. That one's at halftime. And Montreal down by 2-1 away at DC United. That one, though, had 8 minutes of first half stoppage time, so will not resume for a little bit here.
Yeah, and I've been in situations, guys, where I also needed results as a player, as a coach as well. At this particular time, yeah, you need results, but the results on the other side don't impact your tactical arrangement right now. It's not like you're 0-0 and you need to win this game.
Right.
You're up 2-0. You can't affect what's going on outside of you. Take care of your own bubble right now. You're up 2-0. See this game out. Seek the third or fourth goal, and then make your changes.
Wow, don't talk about bubbles, man. We've been talking about bubbles all year long. The NBA bubble, the MLS bubble, this bubble here. I don't want this bubble to explode today. I want this bubble to keep going on, and we will make it to the playoffs. And by the way, if you don't mind, I would like to do a little tribute to a man that I admire a lot after this.
As Kovacevic lets it run out for a throw-in, go on, Fernando.
Dun, 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 dun,
Rest in peace.
Dun, dun, dun.
Rest in peace.
Dun, 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 dun.
Higuain playing it first time in behind towards Morgan, trying to get there in ahead of Gutman. And it's played back to Spencer Ritchie as Fernando's musical cue would suggest. Alex Trebek, the host of Jeopardy today, was announced that he passed away at the age of 80, and we send our condolences. As Agudelo now plays on the left-hand side for Higuain. Now playing it first time back towards Gonzalez Pires. Trapped on the edge of the center circle in the half of Cincinnati, able to slide it back with Reyes.
And it is 4-4-2, Chris. The spacing seems to be better right now, all out throughout this match as well, and then proactive in terms of defending.
Now, Kovacevic trying to play it in behind, but took a deflection on its way forward and easily recovered there by Matuidi. Now receiving it from Pizarro. Matuidi now sliding out to the left-hand side with Gonzalo Higuain. Getting a set up, looking for the next passes with Gonzalez Pires in his own half. Inter Miami coming out unchanged from the break. Matuidi on here for Mikey Ambrose, making just his third start of the year, his second appearance in 17 matches. Higuain now trying to get around Zico Bailey. He's done so. Higuain strike is right at Spencer Ritchie. Well handled there by the Cincinnati goalkeeper. Higuain broke forward for a moment.
And then El Presidente talked about that the interchanging of that front 2/3 or 4. Higuain dropping now deep, playmaking initially, and then being able with his first touch to get away from a midfielder and facing the goal with a good shot of distance. But Ritchie got that one easily. But again, a good start in that first 5 minutes of a second half, always important.
You can see how they're standing right now. Higuain is more in the left, Agudelo in the center, Morgan in the right. Pizarro is trying to tandem with Higuain, and we talked already that tandem is already a little bit out of the trail.
And you like to think over time we'll get there. You like to think that a long preseason together with games will help you as well.
Throwing to come down the right side for AJ De La Garza after a long ball from the back when sailing out from Haglund. Now Agudelo trying to carry forward. He runs into two defenders. Referee's allowed play on as Camohelo Mococho picks up in the middle. Plays it back with Nick Haglund. Now Inter Miami getting some pressure forward here. Ambrose now into Joe Zhao. Zhao riding the challenge, getting turned down. Matuidi going to put in the tackle as well. Zhao is just carrying forward here. Sliding challenge well one there by Gonzalo Espides. Matuidi on for Morgan. First time flick there for Agudelo. Well, lets it run and now carry forward here. Agudelo, 35 yards to go on the right. Agudelo now, instead of playing the run in of Morgan, will turn. And we'll leave it back here with Lewis Morgan, who managed to track back on side. Morgan's cross just hopefully hit, goes all the way through the area. Richie misjudged that. And it comes for Higuain on the left side. Now Higuain in front of the touchline. Sliding it back for Rodolfo Pizarro. 51st minute. Inter Miami remain in front by 2-0. Higuain first time in behind towards Matuidi. Trying to slide it across the 6-yard area. And it's cut out there at the near post by Michael van der Werf. Threatening in the heart of that 6-yard box was Agudelo. It's away for a corner to Inter Miami to come from the left side.
Let's do this. Let's trade Pizarro for another number 9, and let's put Higuain playing number 10. I think that would be perfect for next season.
Higuain's been sensational from a
Higuain is playing number 10. Higuain is putting the perfect balls to every single body, and Pizarro, we can exchange it for someone who plays a real number 9. And that will solve some of our problems. In my humble opinion.
The ability of Matuidi to read the fact that Higuain and Pizarro are dropping, and for him to get beyond them into space is brilliant.
Morgan to take the corner from the near side. Whipped him with a right boot into the near post. Headed away there from Cincinnati. Ambrose trying to keep it alive. Higuain trying to flick it for himself. And it's actually cleared there by Jurgen Locadia. Can appreciate the idea there from Higuain trying control in the penalty area. Comes all the way to the halfway line. Recovered by Will Trapp for Inter Miami. De La Garza now for Matuidi. Cincinnati, by the way, for the third time this season, have not scored in more than 300 minutes of league play.
That's fine.
They've
That's
lost
why they're a worse team.
They've lost 8 of their last 9. They've scored 3 goals
Wow.
now in their last 9.5 games. And it's been a struggle for the MLS newcomers in their second season in the league.
And talk about newcomers, Kovacevic.
Yeah.
In his first game, might be their best player right now. Again, he hasn't trained with this team. That sums it up pretty much. This team needs overhaul, without a doubt. And
Zico Bailey trying to play the 1-2 with Zhao down the right side. Morgan put the tackle in, and it will be a throw into Inter Miami down the near side.
If Jaap Stam is going to be there next year, yes or no?
I mean, you have to consider, given the circumstances, he arrived in the middle of the pandemic and then coached Cincinnati to MLS is back. You'd have to give him a fair shot, you think, right?
Yes, I was a former coach. I would love for coaches to get opportunities. MLS owners sometimes think differently.
Higuain looping it out of his feet, played towards De La Garza, who is able to settle the touch nicely. We'll just slide it back from McCarthy. Cincinnati will get some numbers forward as McCarthy settles his feet, hit the ball long in the air towards Pizarro on the right. It's gone sailing over his head, and out for a throw-in to FC Cincinnati on the halfway line.
Can we get stadium maintenance? We need some windshield wipers here.
Just like I like to see Diego Alonso to get another opportunity as well. The team has gotten better slowly but surely in the last few weeks, guys. We've seen that results didn't go our way, but there's clearly better play right now, and with some additions and retractions.
With Matuidi and towards Higuain. Morgan now coming forward down the left. Morgan trying to peel it back towards Higuain. It's just a bit behind him. It was a decent idea. Could have had a left-footed strike towards goal. Instead, tried to make that extra pass for Higuain. Just didn't quite come off. Alonso giving him the thumbs up, appreciative of the idea. Now, Locadia in the middle of the pitch. Out for Joe Zhao, who's going to run here at Mikey Ambrose. Zhao towards the byline, trying to get turned on. It looked like he lost it for a second, but he's recovered the ball here. Zhao.
His spin, not the ball.
Formerly on Borussia Dortmund reserve side. Now, Kovacevic on the left, edge of the penalty area. Slip back with Andrew Gutman, who's come well forward from left back. Kovacevic now going shoulder to shoulder with De La Garza, who's poked it out for a throw-in to FC Cincinnati. And now there will be a change here for FC Cincinnati. Asim de Jong will come on for Frankie Amaya. Asim de Jong, a player who had quite a career going for himself when he was at Ajax, had 4 consecutive double-digit goal seasons in the Eredivisie for Ajax before a big move to Newcastle United. And since then, he's never really recaptured that same form. He went from Newcastle, only scored 1 Premier League goal, to PSV Eindhoven back in Holland. Has also had a spell in Australia. And now comes on here, is on loan at FC Cincinnati. And they scored.
Ajax coach
is yet to score this season.
Yeah, I know, seen quite well from a distance, obviously, followed his career, but he hasn't done what Cincinnati thought. Big money player on loan.
for nothing.
Correct.
Medunian with a good ball in behind, finding Gutman on the overlap on the left-hand side. News of a goal elsewhere has gone Inter Miami's way. News on that in a moment as Makocho plays into the penalty area. Dealt with there by Trapp. It will loop out for a throw in. Giassi Zardes has scored for Columbus Crew. They now lead Atlanta United by 2-0 at the Crew Stadium. Again, results Inter Miami's way at the moment. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Inter Miami leading FC Cincinnati by 2-0 in the middle of a driving rainstorm. But we play on nonetheless. Pizarro now carrying forward here for Miami, trying to find that next passing option. Does well to avoid Makocho and find Matuidi. On here for Morgan in the middle. Morgan going to find Ambrose on the left. Leave it there for Gonzalo Higuain. Now into Pizarro. Nicely returned there for Higuain. And into Pizarro again. Now it's actually going to come for Higuain after the deflection. Higuain now poked into the path of Agudelo. Out of his feet. Juan Agudelo getting turned. Juan Agudelo on the penalty area. Juan Agudelo's strike is into Nick Hagland. Morgan now trying to knot it down. And it's going to roll out harmlessly for Spencer Ritchie to claim.
Yeah, right now Higuain is the heart and soul of our creative hub in midfield, quite frankly, putting teammates like Pizarro, like Morgan, and now Juan Agudelo in good positions as well. We've known over the years that Higuain can play off a number 9 from a midfield position.
Joao now.
Not what he was brought for, but something to consider going forward.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I joke a lot, but in this particular situation,
You are very serious.
I'm very serious, man. He's playing a great number 10, providing with the perfect balls to every player up front. And he's never get one of those.
Giving it away here for Inter Miami as Morgan just going to no-nonsense clear it up the pitch. And it will be recovered here by Nick Hagland in his own end. Inter Miami in the 57th minute, leading by 2-0 over FC Cincinnati and needing 2 out of 3 results from teams they're competing with the playoffs with elsewhere to go their way. And right now, all 3 are going their way. Against Chicago, 3-3 with NYCFC. Atlanta 2-0 down to Columbus Crew. Montreal Impact losing by 2-1 to DC United.
And one more thing, correct me if I'm wrong. Going back a few minutes ago when Captain Morgan went all the way up and he couldn't strike with his left foot, is it me or sometimes he's too unselfish? Why he didn't get a nice shot out of that instead of looking for the perfect pass when the defenders are already waiting for that cross? How come never ever he got the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to take this shot. I'm going to be the one who scores.
We were talking before the game. Lewis Morgan is actually one of the best creative players in the whole of Major League Soccer, and that seems to be where his bread is being buttered right now.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to be a little selfish. You know?
Totally fair. Totally fair. He's got a good strike on him as well, as Morgan has actually done well to win it off of Zico Bailey and Trapp with a nice out ball finding Mikey Ambrose. Now Higuain getting turned just into the Cincinnati half into Pizarro, returning for Higuain, who first time slides it out for Agudelo and carries on his run. Higuain. Agudelo now into Higuain. He pointed for the run. He's spotted it perfectly. Higuain now back towards Pizarro. Hagland able to get something on it. Only as far though as Agudelo. Flicked down there for Matuidi in the middle of the pitch. Now Morgan slid out for Ambrose. Matuidi wants it towards the outside shoulder. Instead, Ambrose will cut inside. Give it some space here. Ambrose into Pizarro. Now in the middle of the pitch, Rodolfo Pizarro. Nice flick on there towards Agudelo. Tried to return it for him, but Gutman with a nice sliding challenge. And now Cincinnati will try and play out. News of a goal from elsewhere. Atlanta United has responded to Columbus Crew's second goal. And Kovacevic, and it will be a penalty converted by Marcelino Moreno as Locadia now getting turned to the penalty. His strike has gone sailing into the stand. And out for a goal kick or rather for a corner. It took a deflection off of Gonzalez Perez.
It did. I mean, Gonzalez Perez, by the way, did well. That was a great turn inside the 80-yard box. Didn't make the contact, but blocked that shot. Good enough for the deflection to go out for a corner. Good defensive response. So far, McCarthy had not much to do, and you got to give not just the back four, but the team defending, group and individual defending has been spot on.
Another thing, Leandro Gonzalez Perez didn't foul, I think, at all today, which is very uncommon.
Medunian to take the corner from the right side for FC Cincinnati into the back post. Reyes there with a little bit of contact there with Kovacevic, and it will be a goal kick as it went sailing over him and out for a goal kick to Inter Miami.
By Reyes, by the way, because the initial tuck is there. Then he goes with his hands up in the air. Well done, well done. And the referee normally looks at that and go, hey, there was no contact.
Coming
Good
back
defending
to
by
Gonzalez
Reyes.
Perez.
Si, senor.
Today, he's calm, cool, he's cold. He's not complaining. He's not going at the referee, after the referee for any, decision that he might think is not right. That's the way I want to see Gonzalez Pires.
Mm-hmm. It permeates throughout the whole team, obviously, and I think that's something the players and the coaching staff have talked about.
Calm down, baby.
The discipline is important in a team, and discipline is in how you deal with circumstances, and it has to do with yellow and red cards, which weren't in favor of Inter Miami for the longest time. But this game, the discipline in all areas, technically, tactically, physically, and emotionally, because that's an emotional part, yellow cards a lot of times, has been very good.
A swirl of wind coming through the ground. There was
another swirl?
Another swirling?
Group of fans are actually literally holding on to their hats for fear they might fly off the top of their heads.
No way, man.
Wow. You've become a drama queen. Chris. God.
The only swirl thing I know is vanilla and chocolate, man.
Oh, God. Give me one right now.
Oh,
El Presidente. You got any contacts?
Away there from De La
Phone
Garza.
numbers?
Those ice creams from Atlantic City. When you walk down the Malecon.
The boardwalk?
Yeah, no, Malecon, man.
Oh, okay.
Malecon.
Oh,
Malecon.
I see.
Malecon.
Not
They will be-
Malecon. No, oh, sorry. Yeah.
Throw
Chris.
in to come.
Malecon.
I know.
Goodness
I'm
me.
looking at Chris because he knows Spanish.
Doesn't have enough Spanish, man.
No, Chris is fluent in
I
Spanish.
know.
He should know.
He should know.
I know.
Malecon.
Season we saved his life, his job today.
Right.
Hagland. Oh, my goodness. Slid
Chris
across
Whittingham never
for
had these kind of analysts.
Michael
He's
Van der
flustered
Berg.
right now.
He's learning a new style.
And it's played it to Kovacevic, running away from trap. He's actually caught there by Reyes, and it's going to be a yellow card for Andres Reyes.
Yeah, and Reyes had committed himself. Couldn't really pull out of it. Tried to. There was contact. That's the good call, and that's not a yellow card due to not being smart. It's a yellow card. Well taken, by the way. We got El Presidente's favorite player coming on.
Julian Carranza will enter here for Inter Miami.
That's good that he's not going to play only 2-3 minutes. He's going to play a nice 30 minutes.
Change here for FC Cincinnati as well, as Zico Bailey will exit. Brandon Vasquez will enter. So that is attacker for defender.
Yep. The Upstam it's got nothing to lose. It might as well go for it and gamble.
Yeah.
Whereas
Cincinnati were eliminated from playoff contention a week ago.
Miami is like for like, Chris. Juan Agudelo up.
Yep.
Carranza up. Very similar players, by the way. Juan Agudelo maybe a little bit more breakaway speed, but again, a hard-working guy that can play a little bit higher. If Higuain play underneath, but he's done so well by keeping possession for his team. That's a good move at this juncture, 60th minute. Well done, Juan Agudelo.
Yeah. He played a good game.
And it will be a free kick to come for Cincinnati from the left side. De Jong will take it, and it's gone sailing into the stand. He hit it with plenty of power, but nowhere near.
Section 125, roll
Target.
3, seat 14. Thank God nobody's there.
Yeah.
Again, as things stand, Inter Miami leading by 2-0 over FC Cincinnati.
Talk to us,
63rd minute of play. Right now, all three results elsewhere going Inter Miami's way. Chicago 3, NYCFC 3, Columbus 2, Atlanta 1, and DC United 2, Montreal Impact 1. So as things stand right now, Inter Miami will actually move into 9th in the Eastern Conference, level on points with DC United and Chicago Fire. It is a clean tiebreaker for all of them. The MLS tiebreaker is wins. And so Miami with their 7 above DC United 6, above Chicago Fire's 5 as things stand. Now,
unreal.
Carranza able to lay it off there for Will Trapp. The MLS playoff format, by the way, we'll get to that in a moment as Trapp has won it off of De Jong, and we'll slide it into the middle of the pitch with Matsuidi. Higuain going to carry it forward. Carranza making a couple of different runs. Going to slide in behind there, Higuain. Just a bit too much pace on it. And will be claimed there by Spencer Ritchie, the Cincinnati keeper. So if Miami were to finish in 9th, they would play away from home against Nashville SC. There is a play-in round in the MLS Eastern Conference.
Hey,
so
I like Nashville away.
It is the top 6 that
Let's go to Nashville.
They get progressed into the round of 16. Inter Miami will play in a play-in round against the 8th seed, should things stand as they are right now.
I love country music. Let's go there.
Yeah, no, and Nashville suits us as well in terms of playing style, guys. So if that stays, and there's still a lot of minutes to be played in all games, I think that will be an excellent game for us on the road. You could have drawn a tougher opponent.
Matuidi letting it run there, and now Pizarro is on it here from Higuain on the left side of the pitch, just into the Cincinnati half. Matuidi spotting a good ball there for Higuain.
And maybe a little redemption too, Chris, showing who's the best expansion team.
Yep. They did play twice in that second phase of restart. Higuain wanting it into his feet from Carranza. Instead, he laid it off there for Pizarro. It's won back, though, by Cincinnati and carrying forward Madunyanin. Finding Jürgen Locadia on the left.
I mean, I follow Higuain's career from the very early stages when he was in River Plate as a young man. He never played this position. I mean, that I remember. He never played in the position of he is the one who's creating options, who's creating the chances.
Out of the 4-4-2, El Presidente, with Matuidi and Will Trempe, your two central guys, you need one of your two front runners to play underneath a little.
Yeah, but it was never supposed to be Higuain.
Well, I think this is what's done by design, because Agudelo clearly cannot.
No, Pizarro.
So Higuain takes that responsibility.
Joe Zhao cutting onto his left, trying to curl into the top corner, and he has pulled off an absolute wonder strike, Joe Zhao. Cutting it off the right wing, picking up the top left-hand corner. McCarthy didn't even flinch, and Cincinnati have a route back into this one in the 66th minute of play. It's Inter Miami 2, FC Cincinnati 1.
Yeah, and Chris, you asked me, what is dangerous, and I said to you before, if there's one player that I'm scared about a little bit, is Joe Zhao. This time he faked that right dipping shoulder to go outside for a cross. He comes inside, lines that one up with his left foot, and that's a upper V, and all of a sudden a poor team that hasn't created anything is back in this game. Now the response needs to come from Inter Miami.
Morgan now receiving the long ball from Gonzalez Pires, trying to switch it out towards Pizarro. It's gone sailing over his head for a throw-in to FC Cincinnati. Diego Alonso inviting his players to come forward and press, which is exactly what they're lining up to do here from the ensuing throw-in. Again, nothing changing as a result of that goal, but if Cincinnati get another, we'll have some problems.
We'll be all right.
Joe Zhao, by the way, scoring his first goal for the club. Started nearly every game from the right wing as Carranza trying to dispossess Macacho there, but it comes for Gutman, sends it fizzing up towards Brandon Vasquez. One there by Reyes, tried to knot it down their trap for De La Garza, instead he's giving it to Locadia. Now trying to play it long and behind towards Kovacevic. He tries to let it run there, and instead it's gone sailing out for a goal kick to Inter Miami.
Now you're getting in a situation that the really experienced guys need to take hold of this game. Get the 68th minute. Things are going to tighten up right now as well, and it's very important for this team now to stay together and see this game out in some fashion or another without breaking their rhythm and their control of this game, which they've given a little bit to Cincinnati leading up to that goal of Joe Zhao. So it's important again to get hold of the ball, to get your lines up and continue to be on the front foot, because sitting on this lead, Chris, again, I hope they've learned their lesson. Still 30 minutes left is not the way to go. And based on what you said, Diego Alonso telling his team to step and press, that's what they're still trying to do.
Matuidi winning a free kick just on halfway off of Nick Haglund, who taken a significant step forward.
You can question again Juan Agudelo, who might not be totally fit. That's the only guy that can give you some depth with his speed. All of a sudden you don't have that anymore, i.e. that run by Carranza that Higuain wasn't able to do. Agudelo might get to that ball.
Matuidi trying to first time play him behind towards Higuain, but instead it's come kindly for Spencer Ritchie. We'll roll it out here with Madunyanin. 69th minute of play. Inter Miami leading by 2-1, getting a goal from Mikey Ambrose on 19 minutes, Leandro Gonzalez Pires on 23, and Joe Zhao getting one back here in the 66th minute of play. Gonzalez Pires under some pressure, just trying to get it away, and has sailed it out for a throw-in to FC Cincinnati about 40 yards from goal. Throw-in taken from Zhao into Madunyanin. Now Kamohelo Macacho will report for international duty with South Africa following this match. Both he and Kendall Waston, who are on the bench, called into their international sides, Waston with Costa Rica. Now Zhao, going to let it run again. It seems like Cincinnati players struggling with the pace of the ball when it's landed on the pitch with how slick the surface is.
And the wind that is going that way. How much do we need? How much do we need right now? A goal from Pipita Higuain.
Yeah, this would be an important time for an insurance goal. Gonzalez Pires getting it away. Oh, of course, yeah.
Own, self-esteem and hopefully going into the playoffs.
Zhao, the throw in for Madunyanin. Comes off of Carranza, and Pizarro just trying to send it up the pitch. Miami now can send their lines forward as Haglund plays it back to the halfway line with Michael van der Werf. Now into the middle with De Jong. It's taken a flexion off of Carranza, but comes kindly for Locadia in the middle of the pitch, just on the edge of the center circle. Laid back here with Mokocho. Kamo Mokocho. In the middle with Sim De Jong. So the cross here for Haris Medunjanin. Former Philadelphia Union. Was there for 3 seasons, had 10 assists a year ago from a deep-lying position as it's slid behind towards Vasquez. The pullback is towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Easily recovered there by Trapp, who wants to start the break with a lovely outside of the boot ball towards Carranza. Now getting turned. Higuain side. And Carranza spotted it well. Higuain is going to be able to track it on the right wing. Higuain now approaching the penalty area. Higuain cutting onto his left. Higuain trying to curl one to the top left-hand corner, and instead it's gone sailing out for a goal kick. But you appreciate the idea there from Pipita Higuain. It'll be a goal kick to FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, he absolutely does. You know, I mean, Morgan makes that hard run. That's a tough ball to get across. He cuts back up to his left foot. I'm telling you, he's equally good left and right. Just sails over a little bit. But good attacking sequence, switching the point of attack and finding Higuain in an isolation situation, which is always favorable for Pepita.
Mokocho receiving in the middle, now playing back to the edge of his own 18-yard box with Nick Hagland. Medunjanin. And Mokocho.
Something on the field.
Yeah, it looks like a piece of tape almost.
Yeah.
Mokocho now back with Vanderwerf. Carranza nearly causing them a problem as Cincinnati playing some needlessly dangerous passes in their own end. Hagland now receiving it from Spencer Ritchie. News of a goal in Philadelphia where it looks like the Union are on their way towards winning the Supporters' Shield. They lead by 2-0. It looks like Corey Burke is the scorer of the most recent goal. Nothing to update from the games that impact Inter Miami. Vanderwerf now out for Hagland.
High pressure.
Miami now getting some numbers forward to try and close things down. Vasquez receiving, laying off with Locadia. Finding it first time, Vasquez now to the left with Goodman, who will come forward. And now on the left side, Kovacevic going to run here at Reyes. Reyes, who has no choice but to take him down. You have to be careful there on the Reyes. He is on a yellow card. It will be just a free kick on the left side, about 35 yards from goal for Cincinnati.
Substitutions, Chris, have made a little bit of difference in this game right now. A little bit more energy, a little more urgency with Sim De Jong, although not involved, but his running without the ball's created some problems. Seems like Joe Zhao is finding some life, and it's now important. 70th minute in, it's like refuse to lose over my dead body mentality. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
Line of players stood outside the 18-yard box. Crosses whipped in. McCarthy letting it go all the way. It was a bit dangerous there. Tracking on the back post there was Vanderwerf. Nearly threatening, but it's gone sailing out for a goal kick. And it will be an opportunity for Inter Miami just to slow the game down a bit here.
Yeah, that makes me nervous.
Leading by 2-1. They need to win, Inter Miami, if they are to make the postseason. Plus get results elsewhere, which right now are going their way. No news elsewhere. Chicago still level at 3-3 with NYCFC. Columbus still leading Atlanta United by 2-1. And DC United still leading Montreal Impact by 2-1.
No more.
A warning will come here for John McCarthy for time wasting as he plays the goal kick all the way to the halfway line. Carranza trying to flick it on, but it's Medunjanin who will play it up towards Vasquez. Header away there from Gonzalez Pires into the feet of De Jong, though. Reyes now with work to do, lofting it as far as he can into the steady and significant rain at the Inter Miami CF Stadium. All the way back for Spencer Ritchie. He's trying to slice the ball out to Zhao. Tries to take it off the chest. Appeals for handball are given. Diego Alonso is stood right there. And it is a free kick. In terms of the other games that aren't impacting Inter Miami, the New York Red Bulls lead Toronto FC by 2-1. Orlando City lead Nashville SC by 2-1. And as we mentioned, Philadelphia leading New England by 2-0. It is decision day. The final day of the MLS regular season sees all teams in the Eastern Conference start at exactly the same time, and all teams in the Western Conference start at exactly the same time, which is why this game is being played in the middle of a hurricane. Ambrose into Pizarro on the left-hand side. Now right in the challenger of Zhao, trying to get turned around him. A little bit of a shoulder-to-shoulder. Zhao just letting it roll, and now picking it up on the byline, going down. The referee awarding a free kick as Pizarro just clipped a bit of Joe Zhao there.
Which is not smart. Joe Zhao is going nowhere. He's stuck in the corner right now. Why foul and allow this team now to go direct? And move their lines again. These are little things that will amount sooner or later. So all individuals got to make all the right decisions and show a level of discipline. The block of 6, your back 4, Matuidi and Will Trapp need to be tight, and then take your chances going forward.
Carranza with a nice challenge on the halfway line. Play it off of Mococcio. Getting it back from Matuidi. Now Morgan. First time into Higuain. Back heel flick into Carranza. Left a bit too much of it there for Vanderwerf. He's poked it off him. And now Cincinnati will look to break forward through Haris Medunjanin. Onto the left. Kovacevic is going to run at De La Garza. Strong challenge from the MLS veteran, who for me has been a standout performer when he's played. Started in the middle of a back 3 last weekend against Toronto, now playing right back and is comfortable in both areas. Pizarro now carrying forward into the center circle.
Yeah, you have some depth there. McCoon was very good last week as well. So was Powell. So, from that standpoint, you're good. It's midfield and up front where...
Morgan now carrying forward into the channel. Morgan now going to let up a strike, and it's not far away. It's gone just wide there. Took a deflection on the way through, and it will be a corner to come from the left side for Inter Miami. Fernando, you wanted the strike, and there it was from Luis Morgan.
I asked him for it. Yeah, I'm asking for it the whole time, man, because this is the perfect night.
Part is his number on his jersey pretty much tells you why. 7 versus a 9. And I've played with Gerd Mueller, and Gerd Mueller inside the 18-yard box, regardless if there were other players open, the only thing he saw was the frame. And he became selfish. And he said that to me, Thomas. You have to be selfish.
I
think that Lewis Morgan is more of a giver than a taker, unfortunately. That's probably his personality.
Perfect.
But
in cases like this...
Yeah, I agree with you. The learning curve. He's still young. That's why you and I and Chris need to get to practice. We're not allowed to tell him, We could take him to the cycle and say, Lewis, in a good Scottish accent. Hey, mate.
Hey.
You should
play,
rip that ball a little bit.
Play has been stopped for an injury. Sim de Jong is slow getting up, grabbing at the back of his left leg. So,
by the way,
he's
not
going to be helped
Dutch.
off.
No way, this guy's Dutch. Comes on, has to touch the ball, it has to come up. That's not a Dutchman. I'm embarrassed.
He's leaving because he doesn't like to play at the rain and wind.
De Jong actually looks like he's going to come off here.
De Jong.
Double change is being prepared. So one change, Camilo Mococcio will come off for Tommy McCabe, who will make his FC Cincinnati debut off the bench here. So McCabe will be inserted into the midfield area. And a corner whipped into the near post there as we await that final change, which looks like it will be Rashawn Daly to enter. Corner is whipped into the penalty area. Header has gone over there from Carranza, who stood right in the middle of that 18-yard box and couldn't quite direct it towards target.
Yeah, that's good, Chris. He's got a lot of numbers and bodies in front of him. That ball is carried past him, and he doesn't elevate. So, if he just gets up in the air and be able to get that ball down, he's got better success.
Yes!
New York City FC, news of a goal elsewhere. They lead by 4-3 now over Chicago Fire.
Oh, yeah.
So all 3 teams at Inter Miami need to draw or lose, are losing right now with less than a quarter of an hour to play in all but the DC United match.
Should have gambled. I called all these results before the game.
Imagine a parlay that had all 3 of those results. Could have paid pretty well. And it will be a goal kick to come for FC Cincinnati. Now, some issues over whether or not Cincinnati can make a change here. Rashawn Daly is all kitted out, and I think they're being denied the opportunity to make their final change because they've already used the 3 substitution windows.
The 3 substitution window. Yep. And it doesn't matter if there's an injury or not. The assistant coach is going nuts. But
that's okay. They play by 10. With 10.
Yep.
Well, no, it's more that.
The last one. Yeah.
Rashawn Daly was going to come on for somebody.
They were lucky that they take first.
I think that means that De Jong is going to have to carry on. Because he didn't come off in the last sub. It was Mococcio who did. Well,
actually, no. is off. And they put a player in.
Yeah.
They wanted to make another substitution.
Mococcio stayed on as Pizarro has a nice chance on here.
Pizarro!
And he gave it away to Medunjanin. Fernando, I think, was just cursed in Spanish.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I only say la.
It will be
La Masia.
La Rosa Negra.
La Rosa Negra.
Kovacevic into the middle with Medunjanin. Trying to have a go from a long range. Took a deflection on the way through off of Matuidi. And it'll come out for a corner down the near side for FC Cincinnati. So again, the results elsewhere all going Inter Miami's way.
Just have to see out this game, Chris, under tough circumstances. But that is also this is a learning lesson for this team as well. They can look each other in the face right now and go over our dead bodies, and that's what experience and leadership needs to do.
Medunjanin will take the corner from the right side. As Zhao the option for a short corner. Instead, he looked like he'll try and whip it into the penalty area. Medunjanin's corner is sent in towards that 6-yard box. Header arriving on the back post. It's gone flashing across the 6-yard box, and it will be out for a goal kick. And it was Nick Hagelin, the central defender, who was up there, and it went right across John McCarthy's goal. Life flashing before their eyes for Inter Miami there.
Yeah, actually, it's Julian Garanza's men right now who puts a little bit of an arm on him. Garanza goes down and gives Hagelin an opportunity to steer the ball almost at goal.
Bring me a volume, man.
McCarthy will take the goal kick from his own 6-yard box. He's already been warned for time wasting, and now it looks like Inter Miami will start getting subs ready.
Yeah, and now it's the time to do that.
Yeah.
You're under the cush, you're under pressure. You need a Victor Uola right now who's a strong body, so to speak, a good defender / midfielder.
Free kick given against AJ De La Garza going through the back.
And you probably have to sacrifice some of your more gifted players, i.e., I hate to say it, Pizarro or somebody in there.
Pizarro.
And
Pizarro.
Yes.
Pizarro.
And it looks like Alvis Powell is also being prepared to come on as well after a good performance last weekend against Toronto FC. He'll make a second successive appearance. News of a goal from elsewhere not going Inter Miami's way. Montreal Impact has scored to make it 2-2 against DC United. Now, that is still a good result for Inter Miami. It just needs to be a draw or a loss, but one more for Montreal, and all of a sudden some pressure could arrive. Although Atlanta and Atlanta or NYCFC, or Atlanta or Chicago, would have to overcome 2 goals.
Yeah, no chance.
With 8 minutes to play in either game.
With Powell, you get speed. With Viola, you get toughness and smart on the ball as well. You can still maintain possession. Just a matter of, do you go like for like, or do you take a technical player out?
Locadia now coming forward here for FC Cincinnati. Laid off here with Joe Zhao. Now Haris Medunjanin plays it with Zhao on the right side.
You can see right now.
Draws the attention of 2, Matuidi and Ambrose.
Well done, Matuidi, helping Mikey Ambrose in that double against the best 1v1 player on the Cincinnati team.
Going into Medunjanin. Ball ricochets out here for Zhao. Now laid off here from Medunjanin. 83rd minute of play. Inter Miami lead by 2 goals to 1 over FC Cincinnati. Hagelin now into the feet of Kamohelo Makocho. Now Goodman back for Van der Werf.
Van der Werf.
I'm not saying that with enough verve, TR.
No, you do unbelievably well, Chris, with names, and particularly Dutch names, because most people don't pronounce the way you do, and you're very close.
Headed away there from
the problem is with Malek
Reyes.
Not with the Dutch last name.
So we get,
and now the double
we've
change.
seen that before, actually. Yola, or this time it's not, but Morgan comes off.
Pizarro coming off for Alvis Powell.
Yeah, good shout, El Presidente. Muy bien. He called that one. And Morgan, who always puts in so many miles for Victor Yola, which has happened now last few games as well. We see that change being made.
Still 2 more changes available to Diego Alonso in a final substitution window. You imagine if this game is nervy all the way to the end,
he's bringing Roman Torres
in second half stoppage time.
He's bringing Roman Torres back.
Christian McCoon is available from the bench.
So you got to figure that Powell is going to play on that right side where Morgan is. They're going to play with 5 now.
Yeah.
De La Garza is going to go centrally.
Yep. Reyes will play right center back, LGP left center back, and De La Garza through the middle.
Correct.
Similar shape to the one last weekend. Zhao trying to play it on. It's off the arm of Matuidi, and it is handball and a free kick to come on the near side for FC Cincinnati, about level with the edge of the 18-yard box on the right wing.
And when you make 2 changes and you get a set piece right now, it's very important that both Powell and Yola know their responsibilities and their matchups right now. That's important. I got 6, you got 9. Stay with 10. Everybody needs to pick one guy and stay with him.
Haris Medunjanin to take a free kick from the right side. One man on the wall is Ambrose. Most Inter Miami players lined up about 8 yards from goal. Whipped in by Medunjanin. Headed away there from Inter Miami. Well, as far as Makocho lines up a volley, and it's gone slicing right through. It's gone backwards for Medunjanin. Trying to slide it behind towards Zhao. Well read there by Ambrose. Just puts it out for a throw-in down the near side.
Now you reorganize real quickly. You find your marks again. Yola is talking. Well done. De La Garza's a good communicator as well.
Yeah, it looks like 5-3-2 right now for Inter Miami.
Yep.
Ulloa, Trepp, and Matuidi in the middle. Carranza, Higuain up top. And now it's Powell playing right back on as a sub. Gutman playing with Locadia. In the middle. Here's Tommy McKay on his first sub. Madunyanin trying to slide in behind there towards Vasquez. Gonzalez Pires trying to cause him a problem, and he has indeed fouled him. About 30 yards from goal on the right side.
Yeah,
and it will be
smart.
a free kick to come here for FC Cincinnati.
Anytime players run negatively, and by negative means sideways or backwards, that's where you want players to go. No need to foul from behind and give them an opportunity on a set piece again. Key again is guys' first ball and second balls.
Madunyanin will play a free kick here. It actually has rolled from its initial position because of the wind.
No wind.
Again, it's a driving wind in the area. Significant amount of rain as well. You hear it.
Fuera, bicho, fuera, bicho.
Madunyanin whips into the back post, knotted across the area. McCarthy has to dive to his right and save off the header from Haglund. Might probably just have come off the post from McCarthy, making no mistake and putting it out for a corner to FC Cincinnati to come from the left side.
I'm a little surprised that Haglund now twice has gotten a free header, quite frankly. You got to put a body on him, which is Reyes at this particular time.
And now it will be a corner to come for FC Cincinnati from the left side. Madunyanin taking all the set pieces. Locked it through that 18-yard box. Haglund going down. It's going to be a free kick against Haglund for pulling down. It looked like Carranza in the heart of the penalty area. And it will be a free kick to Inter Miami in their own 18-yard box and a chance to kill some time.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about right now. It's clock management. It's trying to possess, obviously, the ball, not giving any opportunities, which is very important. Stay in that good shell. Don't sit inside your own 18. Still get your lines up. Let McCarthy go direct right now and look for first and second balls.
McCarthy hitting it as far as he can forward. Gutman will win the header for Cincinnati on there for Kovacevic. There to try and win it back, Powell, but it's Ulloa has done so. I'm going to try and play it down the line there for Carranza. You see the idea, but it comes for Gutman. Deflected now into the path of Matuidi. And now Higuain trying to run through the middle of the pitch and find the next pass. It's back with Mikey Ambrose.
Keep it moving.
Plenty of numbers back, though, for Inter Miami. Gonzalez Pires into the middle here with Trapp. Now slip back there for De La Garza.
No!
Into a poor space there. And Reyes is taking
out.
Kovacevic. He's going to get sent out. Andres Reyes is going to be red carded here. And it's the poor ball from Trapp that has caused Miami a problem. And that is Andres Reyes' day done. He has been red carded for a second yellow card offense against Franco Kovacevic. And now the finale here has become even more dramatic.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. I mean, when you build with 5 minutes left, you don't want to lose the ball in those spots, we call that. Lose it in there. Lose it in the corner there. Go direct. Get Higuain at the end of it. Will Trapp more positive. Instead, he plays a negative 50-50 ball, and all of a sudden, Reyes has to make contact for the breakaway with his second yellow. Now you get 10 versus 11 and another set-piece opportunity where Cincinnati twice now has had a good look at goal.
To be honest, everything started with Higuain making a 30-yard back pass.
Now, final change coming here for Inter Miami is Christian McCarthy being prepared, but from the red card, it will be a free kick. Haris Madunyanin can whip in about 30 yards from goal on the left side. They're about 6 or 5 forward here in the attack for Cincinnati, trying to play the spoiler. Madunyanin's crosses in towards the back post, sailing out of play for a goal kick to Inter Miami. No danger coming there. And now Christian Makoun will come on as a sub here.
Yeah, you have to, because you got to replace Reyes. So you need to get somebody in a back five. That means you got to take a midfielder.
And it will be Higuain.
Yes.
Higuain is going to make way here. So they're going to go down defending here. Inter Miami, we await the award of second half stoppage time. Again, results elsewhere, all going Inter Miami's way as things stand right now. Chicago trailing by 4 goals to 3 to Chicago Fire. DC 2, Montreal 2.
Yeah, it's all good.
And Columbus leading Atlanta by 2 goals to 1.
Beautiful. Just like we scripted it, boys, today, this morning.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I would have scripted the last 15 minutes, but...
Almost dramatic. The wind, the rain.
These are character builders. And it's not over yet, but this goes a long way. If they can hang on now with 10 men under tough circumstances.
And the rain.
And the wind.
And the wind.
Long up towards the halfway line with Makocho winning it for Cincinnati.
No foul,
trying
guys.
to press. And now Miami back into their shape. Again, down to 10 men with Andres Reyes sent off for a second yellow card on Franco Kovacevic.
Come on, Cincinnati. You got nothing to lose, nothing to win. Fold it, man.
McCabe. Now on halfway, Makocho.
4 minutes.
Minimum of 4 minutes to be added on here at the end of the second half. Hagelin for Vanderwerf on the halfway line. Sprayed out towards Gutman on the left, and it needed a heavy touch on that left side. Will come out for a throw-in to Inter Miami.
And that's because of the defending has been very good. It's not necessarily you have to win the first ball, Christian. We're not talking about that. By the third or fourth ball, the pressure becomes such that teams will make unforced errors, i.e. playing balls out of bounds. Well done.
Now a throw-in to come down the right side. A heavy wind here at the Inter Miami CF Stadium as Powell launches it forward. Carranza trying to play it, but it will come here for Vanderwerf. Trying to play it back to Spencer Ritchie. Does about find the angle.
Yeah, Victor Yola drop in. Well done.
And now Zhao on the right side. Nearing on a minute gone here. Second half stoppage time. Inter Miami need to win. They lead by 2-1. Ambrose and Gonzalez Pires for Miami. Joe Zhao for Cincinnati, making this an interesting finale. The ball slid in behind there. Is a poor one from Kovacevic, trying to find Gutman, and has gone well out for a goal kick to Inter Miami. There has been a red card in the Atlanta United match. Franco Escobar putting in a studs-in tackle, so he is down to 10.
Where's he from? Argentina, yeah, of course. Reyes, where's he from?
He's from Colombia.
Colombia.
Making the postseason.
Miami needs like a Dutchman, De Jong. You remember the studs up
in
the final against Spain?
Oh
How's your heart?
That
okay?
was bad.
Yeah,
that was a dirty play.
Down to the left side. Makocho has come forward for Cincinnati. Makocho towards the byline. His back heel is back here for Kovacevic.
Nice.
Sliding tackle in there from Powell. He thought he poked it off of Kovacevic, but it will be a throw-in to Cincinnati. 2 minutes of 4 gone in.
No foul.
Gutman on the left side, playing it off of Ulloa for a throw-in. The fans in attendance eagerly anticipating a positive result going their way up towards Vasquez, and it's gone sailing out, and it will be a goal kick to Inter Miami. 2 minutes and 18 seconds gone of second half stoppage time.
Juan Agudelo, well done. Ambrose responded today. Makun, absolutely brilliant coming in. Powell, I've been there, done that, Chris. I was not always a starter and had to come in with 5 minutes left and make a difference. That's all you can do. So far, so good.
As things stand, Inter Miami would be into the postseason. Another gust of wind has come through the Inter Miami CF Stadium. McCarthy sees his long ball die in the air, but Ulloa can win the header.
It's the win, man. It's the win.
Towards Carranza. 2 minutes, 50 seconds gone of second half stoppage time. Left side now. Makocho into Gutman. Gutman carrying forward. The loanee from Celtic in Scotland, where Lewis Morgan came from.
No foul.
Now, good turn there from Kovacevic. He can get the cross away into the penalty area. Away there from Gonzalez Pires. Back from where it came towards Kovacevic. And out for a throw into Cincinnati. 3 minutes gone here. Makocho into Kovacevic. He tries another cross. Comes off of Alvis Powell. And out for another throw into FC Cincinnati. About 10 yards from the byline on the left side. Inter Miami 2, FC Cincinnati 1. A win plus results elsewhere would take them into the postseason. Right now, those results are going Inter Miami's way.
No. Finish this thing. Come on.
And it will be a throw-in.
Very smart,
down
by
the left side.
Good coaching, too. When you're up 2-1, the ball boys, they disappear.
Oh, yeah. On the ball.
Bien, Diego Alonso.
Now in the middle, Tommy McCabe. Out of his feet, finding Medunjanin. Closed down there by Ulloa. Looped into the penalty area. McCarthy off his...
Oh, McCarthy!
There.
Oh, McCarthy!
Falling on it. Locadia was making a busting run through. De La Garza putting him off.
Very
and doing
good, Chris.
so cleanly, good defending.
What a great play.
Yes!
And there is...
Yes! Let's wait now.
Inter Miami right now, as things stand, are into the postseason against all odds. We will not track the progress of a couple of games.
No yet.
We need 2 of them to go Inter Miami's way. Atlanta needing to come back from 2-1 down in the final 20 seconds. Chicago Fire needing to come back.
Hold on.
To win both of those games. Atlanta United keeper Brad Guzan forward. As Columbus Crew are trying to knock Atlanta out of the postseason. A goal from Montreal. That's not what Inter Miami wants, but right now that is irrelevant. Again, it's 2 out of 3 results. Atlanta, Chicago, and Montreal Impact. Montreal Impact might just have made the MLS postseason with a goal in D.C. Now we await a full-time whistle in Chicago and in Columbus. Heavy sliding tackle from Brad Guzan, who's forward there from the corner. Again, Inter Miami won by 2-1 over FC Cincinnati. Ambrose and Gonzalez Pires appear to be the heroes. Thus far, Joe Giles' response was not enough.
Finish this thing, it's already passed.
I know, we've had a minimum of 3, 93-35 on the clock in Chicago. In Columbus, we've had a couple of skirmishes between the two benches. Caleb Porter and Stephen Glass, the managers there, causing some problems. And now Caleb Porter, I think, is going to get a yellow card from Jair Marufo.
No, that Chicago game is over.
Yeah.
They're going to score 2 goals, guys.
Right.
That's 4-3.
Well, the Atlanta game is probably over too, but let's wait for full confirmation of the results.
All 3 results is going our way.
Well, 2 of the 3.
No,
two of the 3.
We needed 2 out of 3.
You needed 2 out of 3. That's good enough.
We needed 2.
Played it by the corner from New York City. And we have just had the
one down,
whistle
to go
in Columbus. Columbus Crew have beaten Atlanta United by 2-1. That's one of the results.
We're going
now,
to Nashville.
One down,
in Chicago,
Tennessee.
we have the full-time result in Chicago.
Yes!
Tennessee.
We are in!
We
are in!
Inter Miami are into the postseason.
We are in!
They needed to win.
Yes!
They've beaten them.
We are in the playoff, man!
Nashville, here we come. We got to go.
Oh, my God!
Who's paying for this trip?
And
let's go to Nashville.
Inter Miami are in.
To whatever it is.
MLS
We're going with
postseason.
on-site radio to Nashville, baby.
Well, actually, right now, because Montreal is up
check,
against DC United, Inter Miami will finish in 10th, and they will likely play New England Revolution as they
let's go to
away
Buffalo.
from home against
Boston,
Gillette.
baby.
But again, Inter Miami are in the postseason.
Yes.
They've beaten FC Cincinnati by 2-1. Mikey Ambrose with the volley. Leandro Gonzalez Pires with the header. Joe Giles' response not enough. Inter Miami 2 winners. Columbus Crew have beaten Atlanta United by 2-1. That was one of the results Inter Miami needed to go their way. And NYCFC have beaten Chicago Fire by 4-3. And Inter Miami are into the MLS postseason. Guys, we've got another game to call in a couple of weeks'
Someone
time.
had to tell the players that we already in. They don't know. They're waiting.
They don't know yet.
They're waiting. Come on,
maybe
man.
in the wind, they haven't been able to discern yet.
That's right. They can hear because of the wind.
Go inside, guys. It's treacherous conditions outside.
Inter Miami are into the postseason.
Dale, vamos, vamos,
They will
vamos.
likely play a final postseason game a first postseason game. Actually, now those results have changed. Nashville now beating Orlando by 3-2. New England losing 2-0. So actually, we're back to playing Nashville again.
Nashville, let's go to Nashville. I love country music. Let's go to Nashville.
So we're playing Nashville then.
Nashville, Bob. Now they know. The players finally know that we're in the playoffs.
And they're jumping up and down.
Nashville.
Dale,
Oh, that's great.
dale. Vamos, Inter. Vamos, Inter. Vamos, Inter. Vamos, Inter. We are in, brother.
Inter Miami are into the postseason, and that is a full-time result, by the way, in Orlando.
What a year.
So Nashville will be the opponent in round 1 for Inter Miami, who will have a first postseason match in club history. That'll do it for us here on our broadcast. For our studio producers, Sean Stanley and Tito Banache, for my broadcast partners, Fernando Fiore and Thomas Rungan. My name is Chris Whittingham. Coming up next, it will be Orlando Alzagari, Alex Dano, and Fernando Fiore with full-time reactions as Inter Miami have qualified for the postseason by beating FC Cincinnati by 2-1. Mikey Ambrose and Leandro Gonzalez Pires,
Welcome
the heroes.
into Inter Miami CF Stadium. It's raining. I don't care. My smile. This is absolutely incredible. Inter Miami are officially into the MLS playoffs. Lady Luck was finally on our side. Yes, we're here with absolutely crazy weather. I mean, you can't make this up. We're playing in a tropical storm. They ended up winning this game 2-1 versus FC Cincinnati. All the results pretty much couldn't have been better. I mean, you heard the guys in the radio. Absolutely, everyone is delighted. This team has been through so much, to say the least, this season. You can see it with these guys down on the pitch right now. Everyone jumping around, dancing. You can see it in Diego Alonso, just so proud of the team. Even Higuain, just so proud as well, hugging all the players. So Orlando City losing to Nashville 3-2. So we will be taking on Nashville in the playoffs for the first round. Another game that went our way, 4-3 to NYCFC, taking on Chicago there. Obviously, our game, 2-1. We needed to win. We got the job done. Other teams around the league also got the job done with us. Just went full time in Columbus. Columbus winning that game versus ATL 2-1 as well. So another game that went our way. So you couldn't write this as perfect as it is. I can't even catch my words right now because I'm so happy. I mean, us in the broadcast booth, we've been with this team all season long. We're a little family here, and just how hard the ownership has worked both on and off the pitch to bring in players during COVID, bring in players like a Pizarro and Higuain, Higuain's brother to this team. I mean, all these players have fought so hard. And then you obviously look at tactically what Diego Alonso did today. Absolutely brilliant by him. He's had a really tough season, and I say this because there's only been 2 games where they've really been outplayed and deserved to lose. The rest of them, the scoreline have been so close. But you saw Diego Alonso make tactical adjustments today, defensively playing in that 4-4-2 deep block, making FC Cincinnati play to where Inter Miami wanted to them, play on the wits, because you had Pizarro working his absolute tail off to help the defense. You had Lewis Morgan again. I mean, he does it week in and week out, but defensively so sound. You have a Mikey Ambrose that hasn't started a match since the beginning of the season, come in and get the job done, have that absolutely cracking of a goal in the first half, takes it off his chest, slams it home. Then you have LGP doing LGP things, defensively being so tough to break down, but then on set pieces. And speaking to LGP in training sessions, they know that was something that they needed to clean up. They wanted to clean up set pieces because they have the distribution of Lewis Morgan. I mean, you've seen here today, this wind is literally whipping around in circles, and Lewis Morgan made it look easy, putting that ball into the mix. LGP was absolutely incredible, to say the least, getting up for that header, and he made it look easy, and it was not easy. Player on his back, flicked it back post, made this 2-1, obviously went down. They lost Reyes due to a red card, so he will not be available for the first round of playoffs. But I will say, I'm going to turn this into a positive, because Reyes has been brilliant for this Inter Miami side. But you look at the players that they have brought in. AJ De La Garza, 2-time MLS champ, brought into this squad to be that leader. And whether he was starting at the beginning of the season, he's starting now and he's getting the job done. You looked at that FC Dallas game last week when AJ De La Garza played central of that 5-back with Powell and McCoon. You saw Powell and McCoon come onto the pitch today. Were absolutely brilliant. Solidified this game 2-1 for them. I mean, you just can't be happy enough for this team. The amount of things that they've had to overcome and obstacles. I mean, coming into a franchise team, a newly founded inaugural season, isn't easy, to say the least, to do so. So they've come in and been absolutely incredible. Ooh, we have Thomas Wrong and Joe. Wait, we've both been tested, so we're fine. We got COVID tested yesterday, so we're safe. We're in the playoffs, baby! Absolutely delighted. I mean, what was it like for you? You just came off radio, and I was listening to you guys scream, dale, dale. I absolutely love it. We saw the players on the pitch. We saw everyone in the crowd. Basically, my buttons were popping open with excitement. I mean, it's been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
What's
this
like for someone like you?
Absolutely awesome. And you both and I have played the game. We know what it feels like when these guys were looking at the other scores as well. They did their job by seeing out a tough game, going up 2-0, a red card. But they showed in the last few weeks a lot of mettle that I didn't think this team had, actually. You got to give Diego Alonso a lot of credit. This team that persevered under tough circumstances. The results went their way as well. It just seemed the team really that, you know how it is. When you win a game like this, it builds character. It builds strength. and all these things that are so important.
But we saw it here on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
And like you said, character builds a team, especially for a newly founded inaugural team that has come together, really been through it all. I mean,
Can I take this off?
You can take this off.
Love
Yeah.
it.
You've been tested. We got tested yesterday.
I know.
But they come into this season. I mean, players are brought in mid-season, then they go into an MLS bubble. COVID hits. I mean, players get injured. We've picked up numerous red cards. Obviously, Reyes, again, very unlucky, picked up his second yellow, so he will be missing. But so many of these players have stepped up. So you've been a manager. What does this show about what's going on inside the locker room?
Well, it shows that Diego Alonso stayed the course, so to speak, and preached the philosophy he wanted. It's not necessarily from a technical or tactical standpoint. Their attitude became better, more disciplined, less cards, although, yes, Reyes gets one, but throughout the game, the leaders stepped up, which is so important. And the guys that came in, and Kellen, you and I have been there.
Yep.
We not always started every game, but Mikey Ambrose in a tough game gets the goal that does so well.
Brilliant.
I know that Joe Jao in that goal maybe gets the better of him when he comes on his left
I'm
foot
blaming
as well.
it on the wind. It was a Golasso, but I'm blaming it on the wind. He got
And
a little bit of lady luck on his side.
LPG now, on 2 set pieces in the last 3 weeks, comes up with huge goals, played well defensively, and they gutted out a result that they weren't able to do in the last few games. That speaks volumes of a coach that still trusts in his team, and his team rewarding him as well, because there were speculations about making a coaching change maybe,
Diego Alonso got it right for me today.
did.
I mean,
Yep.
tactically in that first half, we saw them sit up in that 4-2-3-1, and then defensively 4-4-2, really tough blocks to break down, made
Correct.
SC Cincinnati played wide. But then he brought on the right players at the right time, wanted to solidify the game, brought off Gonzalo Higuain, then brought off Pizarro as well. So he brought up a lot of good players to add players just to strengthen the defense. And we haven't seen that all season from him.
No, we haven't. And that means also a guy that believes still in what he thinks is best for the team, and sacrificing Higuain and Pizarro. I've been there. It's not easy taking your 2 top players off, because there could potentially be a friction if things don't go well. But he did what was required. He needed Yola in there. He needed Powell in there, who responded again. Makun came in, and you sacrificed some of the technical, less harder working players for that in order to get a result. And you're right, he pushed all the right buttons from the opening 11 with his formation and the changes, which he's been criticized for a few times, that he waited too late maybe to make an impact on the game. This time he waited for the perfect times to solidify his defense and win this game 2-1 basically.
Yeah, and I want to touch on a little bit of Agudelo. I mean, we haven't seen him start in a few months now, obviously with injuries, but came on, and I really like the partnership between him and Higuain up top, because he's willing to run those channels. He's willing to pop up the front. He's willing to take the fouls in behind him, which allows Pizarro and Higuain to link up.
I was very fortunate to have one of my under 20 teams to play for me. So Juan's played about 20 or 25 games for the under 20 team when I was the head coach, and all the qualities that Juan Agudelo showed there, he's still shown here as well. Never really went to the ceiling that I thought he had, because he's exceptional, but made today an impression that you say that might be a central pairing. Quite frankly, the chemistry between Juan Agudelo and Higuain seemed to be better than between Higuain and Pizarro has been for the last 3 or 4 games, because they play quicker. It's 1 or 2 touch, and Juan Agudelo has the ability, outside of everybody else, to stretch a defense because of his speed and hold up play because he's brave as well, and get fouls.
And I think what added to that as well, you just touched on Pizarro, the partnership between Agudelo and Higuain up top, but it allowed Pizarro just to have almost a free role. Defensively, he was unbelievable. Got back, helped out the fullbacks, which was highly needed in this game with AJ De La Garza and Mikey Ambrose. Absolutely brilliant, double teaming down in the corners. But it really felt like the partnership with having Pizarro a little bit more looser, I guess we can say, rolling in underneath, and that tiki-taka style football, and the more freestyle, and then having Lewis Morgan as well. Those 4 up front, what did you think of their performance today?
I think that was probably the best performance what I've seen so far. You and I've called all the games, obviously. You just mentioned some of the things. It's great to be unpredictable. It's sometimes hard for teammates to have a player that's unpredictable, by Pizarro. But today, his unpredictability was good for his team. It was hard for the opponents, because he popped up in spots. He used a few times to get out of traffic, which is the only one he can do as well. He served some good balls, and more so, as your number 10, he can easily cheat defensively, but he helped Mikey Ambrose on that left side tremendously. One of the reasons why Mikey was able to succeed as well. And Morgan gives you this ability that not too many other players have, quite frankly, to stabilize everything else because he does everything. You know what he's going to do, and that's always helpful. They have a Pizarro, and then obviously Higuain and Agudelo are pretty darn good on the day.
We need to talk to the bosses because we need to go to Nashville. We need to cover this match. But again, Inter Miami CF are into the playoffs with results going our way. The big win today, the 2-1 victory over Cincinnati, and we will be taking on Nashville in the first round. For myself, Kaylin Kyle, and Thomas Rongen, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Vamos, vamos, dale, dale, dale.
Hola la familia.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, Inter Miami fans.
Okay.
Sabemos que ha sido un año inusual, lleno de desafíos.
We would like to thank you for sticking with us through it all. We love the energy and the passion that you bring to this club.
Et ce fut un honneur de représenter les meilleurs fans de la MLS.
Su apoyo significa mucho para nosotros y realmente lo apreciamos.
The best is yet to come. Thank you.
Lo mejor está por venir. Muchas gracias.
Welcome into Inter Miami CF Stadium. We just had Thomas Rongen on here for the post-game show. We are officially into the playoffs. I'm alongside Andres Cordero, your play-by-play for Inter Miami. What was this like for you? Obviously, you're coming in to a team that you've always dreamt about having in Miami. So I want to start there. When you got the call that, you know what, Andres Cordero, we want you to be our play-by-play man, what did that mean to you?
Well, I was actually in the process of selecting my season tickets when that happened, so it was special because
you got the best seats in the house.
This team was going to be a big part of my life one way or the other. I just didn't know I would lose so much hair over the course of the season as a result of it. It's been topsy-turvy. It's been wonderful. I think for the fans to actually have a chance to be here, the limited amount of season ticket members that were able to be here with all of the support that they've given to this club throughout, even before their existence, really, if we're honest about it. It's just such a great moment for them to be able to enjoy that here, for the players themselves to have fans, which makes a huge, you would know, would make a huge difference for you to have someone to celebrate that with. So it's a big moment, I think, for a club that was forged in adversity, from issues with the stadium deal to when you finally get your inaugural season underway, to some of the ways that they found ways to beat themselves in difficult games. Well, tonight they had a bit of luck because they didn't depend exclusively on themselves. They needed other results to break their way as well.
Can we say finally the luck went their way?
Yeah, it's been a season where they've been hard done by at times, but some of those were self-inflicted wounds. Tonight, a really good collective team performance. We saw the defensive effort from guys like Luis Morgan and Pizarro, who are some of your best attacking players. So completely all around satisfied with what
Hola la familia.
Hi, Inter Miami fans.
Sabemos que ha sido un año inusual, lleno de desafíos.
We would like to thank you for sticking with us through it all. We love the energy and the passion that you bring to this club.
Et ce fut un honneur de représenter les meilleurs fans de la MLS.
Su apoyo significa mucho para nosotros y realmente lo apreciamos.
The best is yet to come. Thank you.
Lo mejor está por venir. Muchas gracias.
Season Diego Alonso has, and that pays off in a moment like this when you are shorthanded, when you don't have your full complement of players, and those guys are not just up to the task, but also in sync with the rest of the team so that you get a collective effort like the one they did tonight.
Now, I'm not just saying this. You're one of the best play-by-plays that I've ever heard, but
Very
your
kind.
knowledge of football is absolutely incredible. So, chances of us in the playoffs, we're taking on Nashville. It's been decided. All the results are through. What do we need to do to beat this team?
Well, that is really, it's a beautiful script, isn't it? To have this night happen on decision day on the last game of the season when you punch your ticket, you book it, and now you're up against the other expansion side, which is a direct rival, one we've seen already this season. I think the beauty of the playoffs is that everyone who makes it does have a legitimate chance to advance. That said, I think Miami may be even a better chance to advance because they've gelled, they've started to become more of a cohesive unit for a team that has been put together under construction within this season. They didn't sign Gonzalez Peters until after the MLS's back bubble. They go on to add Matuidi a month after that, shortly after Higuain, after that Federico, who we didn't get a chance to see tonight. And so you see how Miami have grown into the season.
Yep.
With their talent. I don't think anybody wants to face them, and that includes Nashville.
Well, we are officially in the playoffs. We're absolutely delighted. We were screaming in the booth, but with that being said, we need to jump over to the press conference and see what's going on there. Thanks, Dre.
I'm happy for the players, for everything they gave. I feel like in normal conditions, we would have won by more, but we ended up winning by a tight margin. But it could have been by a wider window. But we're happy with the results and for clinching playoffs.
Thank you, Colby. Next we'll go to Michelle Kaufman. Michelle, you're off mute. Hi, Diego, again, from me too, congratulations.
Thank you.
Quite a long year for all of you. Can you talk about Mikey Ambrose scoring that goal, somebody who really has not played that much this year? And also, can you talk about how much tension was there in the last few minutes after they scored and you went down a man with Vegas going off? How much tension and pressure were you feeling as the coach? Thank you.
La verdad que lo primero es lo de Mikey Ambrose. Ha estado mucho tiempo detrás de Ben Sweat, empujando y trabajando. Y creo que el gol de hoy es una recompensa a su trabajo, a su esfuerzo. Y creo que es mérito pura y exclusivamente de él. Así que lo felicitamos. Como también me da mucho gusto el rendimiento que ha tenido en el partido anterior y en el día de hoy de Albas Powell, que ha estado mucho tiempo fuera y que cuando lo hemos requerido ha respondido. Lo mismo AJ de la Garza. Y me pone muy feliz por el grupo y por ellos, en lo personal. Y con respecto a lo segundo, lógicamente sabíamos que los resultados, desde que inició el partido nuestro, tanto lo que estábamos haciendo nosotros como que estaban haciendo los rivales nos favorecía, pero teníamos que esperar los últimos instantes para poder festejar y por suerte lo pudimos hacer, festejamos con nuestra gente, con nuestro público, fue una emoción muy grande y nos dio mucho gusto poder dedicarle el triunfo a nuestros fanáticos, que han estado en un día increíble como el de hoy, donde ha pasado de todo. La gente igualmente vino al estadio, nos apoyó, estuvo con nosotros, así que este triunfo y esta calificación, sin lugar a duda, es dedicada a nuestros fanáticos.
Mikey Ambrose has been behind Ben Sweat for a long time, pushing, working hard, and today's goal is his reward for the hard work that he's put in, for his effort, and today's goal, today's performance is pure and exclusive merit for him. I'm very happy, very delighted for his performance, and also Albas Powell in the last game and today. Great performance, another player that had been outside for a long time, and when we called him, he responded. AJ de la Garza as well, very happy for him, and overall very happy for the group. And then logically, we knew that since the beginning, the results were going our way, everything was falling into place, but we had to wait until the end, and we're happy that we were able to celebrate with our fans. It was a great exciting day, and we're delighted to be able to dedicate this moment to the fans in such an incredible day under these circumstances. The fans still showed up, and they've been incredible. They came to the stadium, they supported us, and this win and this playoffs is for the fans.
Thank you, Michelle. We'll take two more in English. We'll go to Steve Brenner and then Jonathan Segal. Steve, you're off mute.
Thanks, Jackie. Hi, Diego. I just wondered, are they some of the worst conditions you've ever seen as a player or as a coach? And also, how difficult was it for the players to hold on to the end, because obviously the conditions were so wild?
que se pregunta que si esta quizás han sido alguna de las peores condiciones con las que tú has visto un juego de fútbol, con lo que tú has jugado como jugador o como entrenador, y qué tan difícil fue para los jugadores poder mantener resultados bajo estas condiciones.
Sin duda que no sé si él ha sido el peor, pero está entre los peores escenarios o condiciones climáticas en las que hemos jugado, ya sea como jugador o como entrenador. Y era muy difícil determinar cómo poder jugar. Lo que sí teníamos claro es que teníamos que ser un equipo que propusiera, que intentara llegar rápido. No era un día de elaboración, no era un día de mucha elaboración porque el clima no lo permitía, pero sí era un día de combinaciones rápidas y de poder finalizar jugadas, tratar de generar jugadas a través de combinaciones rápidas. Era lo que nosotros entendíamos, y lógicamente que cada vez que venía un balón aéreo, ya sea en ofensiva o defensiva, iba a generar peligro por el viento que había, ¿no? Es decir, iba a ser difícil para los defensores, para el portero defenderlos. Y así fue. Creo que el partido fue complicado, pero lo que intentamos hacer fue tratar de combinar rápido y terminar jugada lo más rápido posible.
We just heard from head coach Diego Alonso. I want to pretend like I am fluent in Spanish, but I had Dre translating for me. But big takeaways, obviously, Mikey Ambrose has been behind Ben Sweat all season, working hard, been behind the scenes. So he congratulated him on basically getting that go-ahead goal because of his work ethic. And I said it in the broadcast. He's a phenomenal guy, both on and off the pitch. He's happy for the fans because they deserve this win. It's an incredible day because everything went our way results-wise. And this win, again, is for the fans. And congratulations to AJ and Powell that, again, have been working so hard behind the scenes.
Mikey Ambrose was the first guest that you and I had when we did our on-side show.
Yeah.
We had him salsa dancing in a conversation in a Zoom chat.
He did say that he was the best dancer on the team.
Right.
And I had John McCarthy on my show the other day. And John did back it up and said he is, quite frankly, the best dancer. So he can score golazos.
Yep.
He's an absolute phenomenal dancer, and a well-deserved win here for Inter Miami, and a well-deserved goal for Ambrose as well. But I want to just touch on the team, because one thing that I noticed is how the team really got together in that circle. They came together. You saw Gonzalo Higuain hugging the players and really what it meant to them. You saw Diego Alonso and what it meant to him. But that shows me that this team is only going to go up from here because of the cohesion that they're having together now.
Yeah, I love that we referenced a couple of points, and then we cut to Diego Alonso's press conference, and he's talking exactly about the points that we mentioned. Among those was that coming together of this team that has been built as the season goes on. And so they need time. They've needed time for those relationships to develop on the pitch in a footballing sense, so that connectivity to know what to expect from your teammates so that you can challenge them. As opposed to sort of being behind the action. I think we've seen that start to come together. And then, for example, the game against Toronto FC, where I thought Inter Miami played quite well, but there was that late penalty. One big mistake, as has been the case so often this season, has cost them valuable points. Maybe you don't sort of sweat this out quite as much if you get that result there. That didn't happen today, because even the Joe Zhao goal that Cincinnati pulled back was a world-class goal, an incredible strike. He was well marked, just bends it into the top corner. Nothing they could do about that. But this is an Inter Miami team that has started to really come together, that's been playing better football throughout the course of this season. And to your point about the way they react with each other, I think one of the moments, I said when I first got announced as the play-by-play guy for Inter Miami, that we were going to make some memories, right? This is a memory for any Inter Miami fan. You'll never forget the final game on decision day of your inaugural season.
In a tropical
how
storm.
you clinched a spot in a tropical storm. And the image that I think will stay with me is immediately after the final whistle, the joy, the expression, and the embrace between Gonzalo Higuain and Blaise Matuidi.
Yeah.
Two guys who were teammates at Juventus, now teammates at Inter Miami. Two guys that have played World Cup finals. In Matuidi's case, won it. And you could see how much it meant to them to be together, to be on this team, and to get this goal that was to make the postseason in their first year.
Yeah, and speaking of the players, I want to speak about the ownership as well, because they've been to all these matches. They've lived through it just as much, and they continue to be so supportive within the community. That's their first and foremost. I mean, we just did an activation last week with all of our sponsors. So it's so important to not only have community engagement, but have supporter engagement and really support this team. I mean, we saw Jorge Mas screaming. He's in a jersey here every week. You see David Beckham staying up late in Europe because he's unable to travel here at the moment. What does that say about a club to have an ownership like that?
Yeah, it's not true to say that Inter Miami haven't had fans in the stands, because
Jorge Mas has been here throughout for every
We
single
hear
home
him
game.
week in, week out.
From the commentary booth, and I hope he doesn't get upset that I say this, but we can hear him cursing at the referees.
We
can
love
hear him cheering for when a team does well. We can hear his disappointment when they don't. So he is, emotionally invested in this team, and that's the most that you can hope for, is to have an ownership group, because it's not just Jorge Mas. Who have an ownership group that will give the team the resources they need and hire the right footballing people to make those decisions. That's what's happening in Inter Miami, and it's paying off at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, what an incredible moment. I have goosebumps, and it's not because of the weather, but it's just a phenomenal night here at Inter Miami CF Stadium. A big 2-1 win over FC Cincinnati. We'll be right back after the break.
Cool. I mean, if I leave and it's just Kaylin, I'll stay and help Kaylin out.
Are you sure? I don't mind.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Sure.
no, go.
All right, I'm going to
You
get
just
going.
called the whole game. No,
See you guys.
Just drive safe. H said the road was so bad, so yeah. Just drive safe. Yeah, good job.
Greek.
Tell me we have an English-speaking player, because Dre's not here to translate for us.
More moving horror stories.
Hey, I heard you're looking for a mover. I got a deal for you.
Staring at his mover out there.
Good Greek to the rescue.
As a former police officer, I've heard all of the moving horror stories. But you can trust me and my pros, and we'll have you saying, call Star Greek.
Good Greek. Moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Baptist Health, as well as Major League Soccer
Guys, my new
itself,
iPhone's been shipped.
have been very, very
Woo!
helpful. MLS has come up
Today's
with
a good
certain
day.
guidelines.
It probably
in
won't
terms
make
of,
it because the
testing
store,
our
but
players. We have hand washing stations. We have
Oh, this weather
sanitizing
is-
stations all over the training facility, as well as the stadium itself.
We, along with Baptist Health doctors, have developed effective protocol for COVID-19. It has helped us limit the spread of COVID-19 and kept the players and staff safe. The COVID-19 protocol for Inter Miami, we test every other day for players and staff. We also screen players and staff when arriving to the training facility. Because of this effective protocol in place by Baptist Health doctors, we have had no positive tests since returning from Orlando.
Baptist Health wants everyone to stay healthy. Adhering to the guidelines that are recommended, those are the things that really are important.
Welcome back in to Inter Miami CF Stadium. The rain is actually coming through us at the moment, but I wouldn't change this moment for the world. Obviously, I've been a player for more years than I've been a broadcaster, but what a moment here to share with Inter Miami players, the supporters, the ownership. I mean, we've had amazing guests on today, and you just really see what it means to these people. I mean, Andres Correro has dreamt of this opportunity to be a play-by-play for a professional sports team here in Miami, a football's team. No, I shouldn't say sports. He'd kill me for that. But it's amazing to see. And I do want to touch on just the players' reactions, because that's one thing that I do look at. I mean, you've seen the shift in game and just trying to find that relationship with one another, I guess you will say. Previous matches, we saw players pointing fingers, maybe putting their head down. And today, every one of these players was fighting for one another. You saw when even Reyes went down with that red card, the players that came on knew exactly what their job was in order to hold on to this 2-1 lead. And no one had dropped head. No one was pointing fingers. This is wild. I feel like I'm a news reporter for, like, I don't know, somewhere in Miami, but this just goes to show, and this will only build character for this team, especially going into the playoffs. The playoffs, this is what makes MLS playoffs exciting. I actually had Harrison Heath on, my husband, on Onside Radio this week, and I asked him about the MLS playoffs and what makes it exciting. And he made a great point. Americans love the playoffs. It doesn't matter what sporting team you support. So it's anyone's game once you get into the playoffs. Obviously, the regular season, you fight for those points all year round, but then it comes down to just a few games to get you into that final. So Inter Miami, obviously coming off a massive 2-1 win in this tropical storm. Everything that could have gone their way finally went their way. You saw them, again, fighting for each other. So it's going to be so interesting to watch and so exciting to watch Inter Miami taking on Nashville in the first round of playoffs. I can't wait to be on that. Hopefully on the call. I'm throwing my producer under the bus as he's listening in the ear. But thank you for tuning in to the post-game show. And again, we will see you for the first round of playoffs, Inter Miami taking on Nashville. Cool.